Chapter 542. Putting his sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen turned around and made a grabbing gesture with his palm. The tower shield, the long blade and the storage ring on Murong Wang's finger were all pulled over by an invisible power, and the tower shield and the long blade disappeared instantly. 3 disaster powder. I wonder what it is? What he cared about the most was still the 3 disaster powder. According to Yuan Jin, even Master Level C of Soul's Realm warriors would not be able to handle it. Invading the ownerless storage ring with his soul power, Yi Chen soon found a small black bottle. With a wave of his soul power, the bottle was taken out. Pop! Opening the bottle cap, Yi Chen looked inside and saw that it was half filled with a gray powder. He leaned over and carefully sniffed it. Without knowing what it was, Yi Chen only felt that his nose was a bit numb, and his consciousness slowed down for a second. Then, he did not feel anything at all. This 3 disaster powder sends its effect into the brain through the nerves, making people lose their consciousness. It seems like it would not work on me. Yi Chen's soul and will power were way more powerful than Master Level C of Soul's Realm warriors. Even if he took the 3 disaster powder, it would only cause a short side effect. It would not even make him lose his consciousness, not to mention lasting for 3 days. Although it would not work on him, it would be a huge threat to Master Level C of Soul's Realm warriors. Putting away the 3 disaster powder, Yi Chen started to study Murong Wang's collection. This guy is quite rich. He has more than 300,000 top-rank spirit stones. This is the Earth Spirit Pellet, and there are 3 Heaven Spirit Pellets as well. Yi Chen still had less than 30,000 top-rank spirit stones left. It would be enough for training, but if he ran into a big auction, it would be hard for him to make ends meet. But now that he had more than 300,000 top-rank spirit stones, Yi Chen had become one of the richest Sea of Soul's Realm warriors. As for the Earth Spirit Pellets and Heaven Spirit Pellets, they were both top-rank pellet. The Earth Spirit Pellets could save a month of training for Sea of Soul's Realm warriors, while the Heaven Spirit Pellets could save 3 months of training. Murong Wang had 3 bottles of Earth Spirit Pellets, each with 10 pellets, and 3 Heaven Spirit Pellet. Adding them all together, it would save 3 years of training time. Yes, this is a top-grade spirit stone. Yi Chen's expression froze. In the corner of the storage ring, Yi Chen saw a half-opened small animal skin bag, from which a milky white light leaked out. Although this light was not bright, it was extremely condensed, as if a huge amount of light had been compressed together, releasing a shocking yuan qi vibration. Buzz. The animal skin bag was taken out. Yi Chen opened it and couldn't take his eyes off it. There were a total of 7 milky white crystals in the bag. These crystals were purer than diamonds, and there was not a single flaw. The 7 milky white crystals and the palm-sized animal skin bag weighed about half a kilogram. It was very heavy in his hand, and it was very heavy. It really is a supreme-grade spirit stone. Yi Chen took a deep breath. Top-grade spirit stones were different from top-grade spirit stones. They had been condensed into crystals, so they could be called top-grade spirit stones or spirit crystals. The spirit crystals contained within them were dozens of times purer than top-grade spirit stones. If I really want to convert them into top-grade spirit stones, one of them would be worth at least 5,000 top-grade spirit stones. In the true spirit continent, 1 mid-grade spirit stone could be exchanged for 50 low-grade spirit stones, and 1 top-grade spirit stone could be exchanged for 100 mid-grade spirit stones. Meanwhile, 1 supreme-grade spirit stone could be exchanged for at least 5,000 top-grade spirit stones. Of course, no one would be stupid enough to exchange the supreme-grade spirit stones for top-grade spirit stones, since top-grade spirit stones were easy to come by, while supreme-grade spirit stones were hard to find. For example, building a conveyor door would require supreme-grade spirit stones. No amount of top-grade spirit stones would be enough. Although these 7 supreme-grade spirit stones can be used for training, and the effect would be 10 times better than the Heaven Spirit Pellet. But right now, I am at peak level early Sea of Soul's Realm, and I only need to make a breakthrough. The Earth Spirit pellet would be more than enough. Once I reach mid-sea of Soul's realm, I would try not to use the Spirit Stones as much as possible. Using Supreme-grade Spirit Stones to train would be too wasteful. According to what Yi Chen knew, normal life and death realm warriors did not even have that many Supreme-grade Spirit Stones. Most of the time, they might not even be willing to use them. The one who had the most Supreme-grade Spirit Stones would be Su King. Su King had found a small half of an extreme spirit vein under the ocean. That extreme spirit vein did not consist entirely of Supreme-grade Spirit Stones. In fact, most of them were top-grade Spirit Stones, and the extreme Spirit Stones were less than 1/10,000th of them. However, 1/10,000th was already horrifying enough. A lot of king warriors were guessing how many extreme Spirit Stones there would be. Of course, they only dared to think about it, and did not dare to fight for it. Who would dare to fight for something from Su King? Even the Dragon King and Xianhou would not dare to do so, since they were not kings after all. Putting away the storage ring and the extreme Spirit Stones, Yi Chen let out a breath as he looked at Murong Wang's dead body. Boom! He threw out a punch, and the headless body and the head exploded into pieces, leaving no bones behind. Shoo! Yi Chen flew toward the ancient Wind City. Adding the time he spent in between, it was only 6 hours. When he got back to the restaurant in the ancient Wind City, it was already midnight, and no one had been alerted. On the second day, during breakfast time, Murong Jishui said curiously, "How come I did not see Murong Wang? Strange." Yi Chen smiled lightly, but did not say anything. Murong Wu said, "Who cares what he is doing? He is not on our side." In the demi-demon family, besides the parents and children, family ties were not that strong. The main reason for this was because of the intermarriage within the family. Once the intermarriage happened, everyone would be a relative. Therefore, once there were a lot of relatives, there would be no relatives at all. Plus, this Murong Wang had never been on good terms with them. After breakfast, the three went back to Murong Jishui's room. Murong Jishui said, "It would not be suitable for us to go to the Yuan family at any other time. We can only go during the wedding. In front of everyone, I believe they would not dare to do anything. Plus, there is a branch of the Yellow Dragon Palace in the ancient Wind City. If the Yuan family were to hold a wedding, they would definitely invite the top management of the Yellow Dragon Palace." What kind of people are there in the Yellow Dragon Palace? Yi Chen knew about the Yellow Dragon Palace. There were 5 palaces under the Dragon God Heaven Palace, which were the Azure Dragon Palace, Black Dragon Palace, White Dragon Palace, Red Dragon Palace, and the Yellow Dragon Palace. The first 4 were all in the East Shallow Ocean, and only the Yellow Dragon Palace was in the East region. The leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace in the ancient Wind City is the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yao Yifeng, who is a Master-level C of Soul's Realm warrior. Murong Wu said. Even the second leader was a Master-level C of Soul's Realm warrior. Adding all the 5 palaces together, there would be more than 10 Master-level C of Soul's Realm warriors. This Dragon God Heaven Palace was way more powerful than Yi Chen had imagined. He had thought that the number of Master-level warriors in the Ao family would not be any weaker than the Dragon God Heaven Palace, but it seemed like he had been too ignorant. Clearing his throat, Murong Jishui continued to say, "With the second leader Yao Yifeng here, the Yuan family would not dare to do anything. But the rest would be up to us. Specifically, it would be you, Yi Chen. You have to beat all of the young warriors of the Yuan family. Only then would you have the right to speak. Otherwise, it would only be a joke, and even the second leader Yao Yifeng would not be able to speak for you." Yi Chen nodded. "If it really comes to that, I will not hold anything back. As long as you have the confidence. All right, since we have come to the ancient Wind City, we should pay a visit to the second leader Yao Yifeng. If we could communicate with each other, perhaps it would be a lot smoother." Yi Chen thought about it and realized that it made sense. He had not had much contact with the people of the Dragon God Heaven Palace yet. He only knew the Dragon King himself and the two senior brothers he had met in the extreme place. With his power now, it would be time for him to meet some of the top warriors. After that, the three discussed some other things. Then, Murong Wu stayed in the restaurant while Yi Chen and Murong Jishui went to the Yellow Dragon Palace in the ancient Wind City. As a power of the Dragon God Heaven Palace, the Yellow Dragon Palace had occupied a huge area in the ancient Wind City. Even the Yuan family and the Gulan Martial School were not as big as them. From the front door of the Yellow Dragon Palace, two middle-aged men walked out. "Brother Yen, have you heard? In a couple of days, a brat from the Yuan family will be getting married. I think they will invite us and the second leader to come." It was the middle-aged man with a yellow face who was talking. The bulky middle-aged man said with disdain, "The Yuan family is not a good thing. Relying on the support of the leader and Xianhou, they have become more and more arrogant. A couple of days ago, that master of the Yuan family had dared to compete with me in the auction." The yellow-faced man laughed. "Are you still angry about that? Hee, the ancient Wind City is an important city in the eastern region. You and I being sent here, I wonder how many brothers and sisters would be jealous of us. Be happy." There were a lot of Yellow Dragon Palace branches in the eastern region, but not every one of them had a second leader. To be more specific, the rest of the branches could only be called the headquarters. It was not hard to tell how important the Yellow Dragon Palace in the ancient Wind City was. "Isn't this Yi Chen?" The bulky middle-aged man was about to reply, but his eyes froze all of a sudden. He saw the young man in blue and the middle-aged man in black walking over from the side. "It is indeed Yi Chen." The yellow-faced man laughed. "What is he doing here? Let's go." Yi Chen had also noticed them, so he walked over with a smile on his face. "Brother Wang, Brother Yen, you are here as well." These two were indeed the two brother disciples that Yi Chen had met on his way to the extreme place. One was called Wang Shi and the other was called Yen Kuei. These two had battled with the Six-Finger Man, forcing him to hand over the top-rank shield of his dead brother disciple. The Six-Finger Man wanted to vent his anger on him, but he was chased away by the two. Wang Shi laughed. "Yi Chen, what a coincidence! It has been a couple of years since we last met. You have reached the Sea of Soul's realm? Peak level early Sea of Soul's realm. TSK. Wang Shi and Yen Kuei were both shocked. Yi Chen was only 24 or 25 years old, but he had already reached the Sea of Soul's realm. This result was even better than Xianhou when she was young. No wonder the leader thought so highly of him. No, if it were not for the leader, this genius might have been taken away by other life and death realm warriors. The two could not help but feel lucky. "Yi Chen, what are you doing here in the ancient Wind City?" Yen Kuei asked. "It is a long story. Uncle Murong and I are here to visit the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace. You guys are also from the Yellow Dragon Palace, right?" Hearing him, Wang Shi and Yen Kuei looked at Murong Jishui with surprise. They could not tell his cultivation at all. Without any surprises, he should be a master-level Sea of Soul's realm warrior. But of course, the two were not people who had never seen the world before. They had even seen life and death realm warriors before. A master-level Sea of Soul's realm warrior would not be worth their attention. Wang Shi nodded. "Indeed. I will take you to the second leader. Let's go." "Thank you, brother disciples. What are you thanking for? We might be family in the future." "Oh right, the second leader is a bit strict. You guys should be prepared." Yen Kuei laughed. "Yi Chen's status is different. How could the second leader be rude to him?" "You are right." The four of them talked and laughed as they entered the Yellow Dragon Palace. Chapter 543. "Master Wang, Master Yen, are you here to see the second leader?" At the entrance of the palace, two late clasping Yuan realm warriors were guarding there. Seeing Wang Shi and Yen Kuei walking over, they asked with a respectful tone. Wang Shi said, "Indeed. These two are?" One of the guards looked at Murong Jishui and Yi Chen. Yan Kuei said, "This is the leader of the Murong family, and this is Yi Chen, who we always talk about. He is Yi Chen. So young." The two guards were very surprised. As members of the Dragon God's celestial palace, it was impossible for them not to have heard of Yi Chen's name. However, only some of the top warriors had seen his picture, and they did not have the chance to see him in person. Now that they had seen him in person, they could not help but sigh at how young he was. With this kind of cultivation at such a young age, it would be strange if the leader did not think highly of him. With that thought in mind, they hurried to hold their fists together and say with respect, "Warrior Yi." Yi Chen raised his right hand slightly and said with a smile, "No need to be so polite. Is second leader Yao here? The leader of the Murong family and I have something to discuss with him. Please come in first. I will go inform the second leader." "All right then. Thank you." Walking into the palace, the four each found a seat and sat down, waiting for Yao Yifeng to arrive. "Yi Chen, with second leader Yao's help, this operation will basically be smooth sailing." Murong Jishui talked to Yi Chen with a light tone. Yi Chen nodded to himself. Holding a wedding was a big family event, and he had messed around like this, which would be like stepping on the face of the Yuan family. Naturally, the Yuan family would not give him a fair treatment, and would try their best to stop him. But, with second leader Yao here, the Yuan family would not be able to do anything. Soon, Yao Yifeng arrived. Once he entered the palace, he did not look at anyone and walked straight to the main seat before sitting down. A guard brought up the tea. Yao Yifeng picked up the teacup and took a sip, not saying anything for a long time. Strange. The second leader is not quite right today. Down below, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei exchanged a look. In the past, the second leader was very strict, but he would not act like that. Murong Jishui frowned. The situation doesn't look good. He could not be blamed for thinking like that, since Yi Chen had a high status. First, he was highly valued by the Dragon King, and second, he was also at peak level early seas of Soul's realm. No matter what, Yao Yifeng should not put on airs, even if he was the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace. Maybe it's just his personality. Yi Chen also had a bad feeling. Putting down the teacup, Yao Yifeng turned his head and said to Wang Shi and Yan Kuei, "You two can leave first." Wang Shi still wanted to say something. "Vice Hall Master," I said, "back off." Yao Yifeng sounded displeased. "Yes." Wang Shi and Yan Kuei left gloomily. Before leaving, they glanced at Yi Chen and said to themselves, "Yi Chen, you're on your own. We can't help you." After a while, Yao Yifeng spoke. He glanced at Yi Chen. "You are Yi Chen?" Yi Chen held his fists together and said, "Second leader Yao, I am indeed Yi Chen, and this is the leader of the Murong family, Murong Jishui. I am asking you, not him." Yao Yifeng frowned. "What do you want from me?" Yi Chen's heart sank as he said, "The Yuan family is very aggressive, forcing the daughter of the Murong family, Murong Qingqing, to marry Yuan Yi. Murong Qingqing is a good friend of Yi Chen's, so Yi Chen would not just stand and watch. So, I am here to greet second leader Yao." "You came here just for this?" Yao Yifeng's voice got louder. Before Yi Chen could speak, Yao Yifeng yelled, "Yi Chen, you have disappointed our leader and me so much. You are the martial genius that our leader thinks highly of, but instead of spending your time on training, you are fighting with someone else. How could you do this to our leader?" Right then, Murong Jishui was not happy. "Second leader Yao, you cannot say it like that. Although training is important, love is not the same. There are a lot of king warriors in the continent who had wives when they were young, and they still managed to achieve great things." Yao Yifeng sneered, "They are them. Can you guarantee that Yi Chen will become a king warrior? Plus, there are different levels of king warriors. What he is doing now is a disgrace to our leader and the resources that we have given him. He is not treating us seriously at all." Hearing him, Yi Chen's expression did not look good. Since his rise until now, besides the spirit pattern fruit that he had gotten from Long Bai? When had he ever gotten so many resources? Of course, it was not that he hated the dragon god's celestial palace for not giving him resources, but he thought that Yao Yifeng was lying through his teeth. Pausing for a while, Yao Yifeng said to Yi Chen, "You said that the Yuan family forced Murong Qingqing to marry Yuan Yi. I do not think so. Perhaps you have your own ideas. Of course, this is only my guess. However, I would like to advise you to be down to earth and not go around looking for trouble. Everything you have was given by the leader and the dragon god's celestial palace. You should work hard to improve yourself and repay them. As for the matter of Yuan family, you guys better not act recklessly." "That's right. Second leader Yao, have you been in contact with people from the Yuan family?" Murong Zhishui's expression was dark. He was 80% sure that this Yao Yifeng must have received some benefits from the Yuan family. Otherwise, he would not be acting all high and mighty and trying to frame Yi Chen. Not to mention the fact that he was only a second leader, even the leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace would not be this arrogant. Yao Yifeng squeezed his eyes and said with a sharp look, "You are the leader of the Murong family, Murong Zhishui, right? Do you know who you are talking to? As a master-level Sea of Soul's Realm warrior, how could Murong Zhishui let it go?" Although Yao Yifeng's position was higher than his power might not be as powerful. So, he said right back, "I, Murong Zhishui, do not think that I have offended the Dragon God's Celestial Palace and the Yellow Dragon Palace with words. Are you saying that I cannot talk to you? Uncle, that is enough. Since second leader Yao does not appreciate it, then we have nothing else to say. Second leader Yao, I will leave now." Yi Chen stood up and was about to leave. Murong Zhishui snorted coldly. Today's events were out of his expectation. He did not expect that even Yao Yifeng would be bought over by the Yuan family. "You can leave now. Yi Chen, you stay," Yao Yifeng said casually. Yi Chen suddenly turned around, his eyes sharp. "Second leader Yao, why do you want me to stay?" Yao Yifeng said, "You are now at peak level early Sea of Soul's realm, which is more than enough to serve the Dragon God's Celestial Palace. I have a mission for you." "You want me to do a mission? I don't seem to be a member of the Dragon God's Celestial Palace yet. Senior Dragon King has never mentioned this, or rather, this is an order from you, Deputy Palace Master Yao. You dare to disobey?" Yao Yifeng said coldly, "Don't forget that I am the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, a high-level member of the Dragon God's Celestial Palace. I represent the Dragon God's Celestial Palace. You disobey me because you want to cut ties with the Dragon God's Celestial Palace? Can I understand it that way? Sorry, in my eyes, you cannot represent the Dragon God's Celestial Palace, and I do not need to listen to your orders. If it were the Dragon King or Senior Long Bai, I would be more than happy to accept it." Right then, Yi Chen felt that there was no need for him to be polite anymore, since it would be an insult to him. Yao Yifeng was furious. "How dare you? The ancient Wind City is under my jurisdiction. Since you are in this area, you will have to listen to my orders. If you dare to disobey, you will have to bear the consequences. Uncle, let's go." Yi Chen did not care about Yao Yifeng as he walked out of the palace. "You are looking for death. Today, I will teach you a lesson on behalf of the leader." Boom! As Yao Yifeng pressed his palm in the air, a huge earthy yellow hand reached out to grab Yi Chen. It contained an extremely frightening earth profound. Murong Zhishui had already considered himself to be on the same side as Yi Chen, so how could he watch Yi Chen get caught by Yao Yifeng? His body slanted, blocking in front of Yi Chen. He flicked his right finger, and a beam of green light shot out, piercing through that huge brown hand. The battle between the two was so loud that all the people in the Yellow Dragon Palace had sensed the vibrations, and a lot of them had rushed over. What is going on? Why is Yao Yifeng fighting with Warrior Yi? The ones who spoke were the two guards outside the palace. They did not understand what was going on. "Everyone, listen up. Surround them. These two are being disrespectful to the dragon god's celestial palace. Yao Yifeng's voice spread throughout the whole palace. Not good. Yao Yifeng wants to capture Yi Chen. Wang Shi and Yan Kuei had not gone far at all. Seeing this scene, they did not know what to do. Outside the palace, Yi Chen stared at Yao Yifeng angrily. Second leader Yao, you better not go too far. I, Yi Chen, have never been afraid of anyone since my rise. If you think you are right, we can go to the headquarters of the Yellow Dragon Palace or the Dragon God's Celestial Palace in the future. Do you have the guts? Yi Chen is right. Today, you won't be able to take us down with just this amount of people. Whether you're right or not, we'll know once we get to the headquarters. I'm just afraid that you'll refuse to go then. Murong Jishui was not afraid of Yao Yifeng, since he could leave with Yi Chen anytime he wanted. Yao Yifeng's face was very dark. You too will regret what you have done today sooner or later. As for going to the headquarters, why should I be afraid? Finally, Yi Chen, let me give you a piece of advice. Do not mess with the Yuan family. Otherwise, you will have to bear the consequences. Yi Chen, let's go. Murong Jishui sneered as he said to Yi Chen. Yi Chen nodded and followed behind Murong Jishui. Thousands of meters away, Yi Chen's voice was heard. Second leader Yao, what happened today, I, Yi Chen, will not let it go like nothing happened. You just have to remember that your life will not be easy. I will be waiting. Yao Yifeng's face was extremely pale as he shattered the stone lion in front of the palace with one palm attack. Not good. How did this second leader get into a conflict with Yi Chen? Should we send a message back to the headquarters? Yan Kuei sent a message to Wang Shi. Wang Shi nodded, of course. Didn't you see that second leader Yao was a bit strange today? Yeah, he was a bit strange indeed. But, he had crossed the line a bit. Yi Chen is a martial genius after all. It seems like he does not have the right to teach him a lesson. I guess there must be some kind of benefit involved. Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were both on Yi Chen's side. In their opinion, the second leader had been acting all high and mighty right from the start, which was already a bit too much. Now that something like this had happened, there was no way it had nothing to do with him. After all, in their first impression, Yi Chen was quite a nice person. Chapter 544. In the sky above the ancient Wind City, two human figures were flying. I did not expect that even the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yao Yifeng, would be bought over by the Yuan family. This Yuan family has indeed invested a lot. Murong Jishui did not think that normal wealth would be able to move Yao Yifeng's heart. As a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, there were not many things that could move him. But once there was something that could move him, then it meant that it was really important and he would risk his life to get it. Yi Chen said calmly, without Yao Yifeng, Yuan clan can't do anything to us. What they fear is Senior Dragon King and Dragon God's Celestial Palace, not Yao Yifeng. Murong Jishui nodded, you're right. Without Yao Yifeng's support, we may face some obstacles, but as long as we're careful, there shouldn't be any problems. No matter what, we can only rely on ourselves. Yi Chen took a deep breath. Although he didn't expect to rely on others, Yao Yifeng's matter still made him feel a trace of anger. Back at the restaurant, Murong Wu saw that the two did not look right, so he hurried to ask, what happened? Murong Jishui shook his head and sighed, don't even mention it. This second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace has already been bought by the Yuan family. I suspect that they already knew that Yi Chen was coming. It is indeed not good news. Murong Wu looked serious. Suddenly, Murong Jishui thought of something and said to Yi Chen, Yao Yifeng has fallen out with us, your two senior brothers might be able to play a role. Senior brother Wang and senior brother Yan. Yi Chen thought for a while and said, I don't know them very well, but I think we can talk. They used to be disciples of the Dragon King. Senior Dragon King's disciple. That's good. It's impossible for Senior Dragon King's disciple to be completely obedient to Yao Yifeng. You're also someone Senior Dragon King thinks highly of, so your chances are high. Then I'll find time to contact them. Yi Chen didn't plan to use his soul power to contact them immediately. After all, his soul power was his secret, and it wouldn't be good to expose it. Moreover, he didn't know whether Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were on his side or not. Near the abyss, Yuan family, on the top floor of a tall building, Yuan Jin and Yuan Yi were chatting. Little Yi, have you made any progress with that girl? Yuan Jin asked casually. Yuan Yi was a bit angry as he said, there is no progress at all. She saw me go over, but she did not even leave the house. If it were not for the wedding, I would have used force already. The demi-demons had the bloodline of the demons, so it was easy for them to be aggressive. This Yuan Yi was very famous for his brutality. A smile appeared on Yuan Jin's face. If it's yours, it'll be yours sooner or later. Don't be too impatient. Let her do as she pleases for now. After the wedding, she won't be able to do as she pleases. Father is right. Yuan Yi nodded and brought up another topic. I heard from the scouts that Yi Chen and Murong Jishui had gone to the Yellow Dragon Palace. I am afraid that they are looking for the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yao Yifeng. Would it affect us? Yuan Jin sneered. What kind of influence can it have? I'm afraid they still don't know that Yao Yifeng has been bribed by me. Has Yao Yifeng been bribed by father? The price must be quite high, right? Yuan Yi was shocked, since he did not know about this at all. Yao Yifeng is the eyes and ears of the Dragon God Heaven Palace after all, so he is still very useful. This time, he has been bribed, and we can continue to use him in the future. Therefore, it does not matter if the price is high. Our Yuan family can handle it, and we will definitely earn it back in the future. Huh. Even Yao Yifeng has been bribed by us. Let's see what else they can do. Yuan Yi let out a breath as he licked his lips. Outside of the city, inside a secret manor, Brother Yi, don't worry. We will take care of this. That Yuan family dares to go against you. They are looking for death. Yan Kuei had always been hot-tempered. Plus, he had just arrived at the ancient Wind City, and he had already gotten into a conflict with a master of the Yuan family, which made him even more annoyed. His face was full of killing intent. Wang Shi was also annoyed, so he said, "What is a Yuan family? If it were not for the leader's protection, they would have been destroyed a dozen times already. Right now they dare to climb on top of our heads. This is too much. Brother Yi, we did not know about this before, but now that we know, we will not just stand there and watch. We have already sent the news about you and second leader Yao." Yi Chen said gratefully, "During the wedding, I will have to ask you two senior brothers to help me out. Your problem is our problem. There's no need to trouble us." Wang Shi and Yan Kuei had already considered Yi Chen as their family since they used to be the leader's disciples. Although Yi Chen had not received any instruction from the leader, just the fact that he was valued by the leader was enough for them to try their best to help him. They would not allow anyone to bully their own people. Yi Chen was a bit emotional. Before, he did not expect things to go so smoothly. "All right, Yi Chen, I will go back with Brother Wang first, in case Yao Yifeng suspects us." Yan Kuei was very straightforward, and did not even call him second leader anymore. Of course, it was in front of Yi Chen and Wang Shi, so there was no need for him to hide his emotions. "All right." Yi Chen stood up to see them off. 3 days passed in a flash, and there were only 7 days left before the wedding. During this time, Yi Chen did not do anything else. He only focused on training and comprehending the profound. He needed to be fully prepared for the challenge. My gold resonant radiance art has finally reached 90%. This gold profound breakthrough is not that hard, but it is not that easy either. It all depends on whether you can find the breakthrough point or not. Yi Chen's training time was way slower than the other Sea of Souls realm warriors, but he had already found some patterns. For example, in the early stages, as long as he trained quietly, he would definitely be able to make a breakthrough. But after reaching 70%, he would have to focus more on the moment of inspiration, which would be worth a few months of training. Of course, it did not mean that he would just sit there and wait for something to happen. Instead, it meant that he would have to enter the training mode and search for that moment of inspiration. Once he found the pattern, Yi Chun thought that it would save him a lot of time. There is not much time left. I do not have time to train the Sky Thunder Cut and the Amaranthan Nature yet. I will try my best to train the Void Shattering Finger Art. It would be impossible to train all of his profound within a short period of time. Right now, for Yi Chun, the Gold Resonant Radiance Art, the Void Shattering Finger Art, and the Sword Chi Tornado formed by the Lotus Heart Sword Chi would be his most powerful attack. The rest would have to wait for a while. Right now, my attacks can already create space patterns, so it would not be that hard to train the Void Shattering Finger Art. It is too bad that I cannot go deeper into the surreal space. If I could touch the space power up close, it would be very easy for me to train the Void Shattering Finger Art to the next level. Soon, another 3 days had passed. During this time, there were more and more people in the ancient Wind City. Most of them were the top management of all of the powerful forces in the Gulan region. They had been invited by the Yuan family, such as the Gulan Martial School, some of the powerful Rank 6 martial schools, Rank 6 families, and some of the famous Rank 7 martial schools. As one of the top 2 forces in the Gulan region, even if the Yuan family did not want to invite people, it would mean that they did not care about anyone at all. Therefore, even though they knew that Yi Chun would go and mess around during the wedding, they still had to hold the wedding in a big way. I heard that Yuan Ye's fiancée is as pretty as a goddess. I wonder if it is true. The demi-demon family has always produced handsome men and beautiful women. I guess it is true. But this Yuan Yi is also one of the rare handsome men. The two would make a great couple. All of the restaurants in the ancient Wind City were filled with people, and a lot of people were talking about the upcoming wedding. On the street, Murong Jishui and Murong Wu were walking side by side. There are quite a lot of people here. Murong Wu could see 2 to 3 Sea of Souls realm warriors with one glance. Murong Jishui said, "The more, the better." These days, Yi Chun has been training his profound sense. I wonder how is his progress? Speaking of this, Murong Jishui was also very concerned. He shook his head and said, he will have to rely on himself. Yuan Yi is not that easy to take on. I think no one below Master Level Sea of Souls realm would be able to take on him. I even think that Yuan Yi is not weaker than normal Master Level Sea of Souls realm warriors. There is indeed such a possibility. The special power of the perfect demi-demon bloodline is not something to joke about. It would grow stronger as one's cultivation increases. With Yuan Ye's current cultivation, his special power would probably be equivalent to demonizing 3 parts of his body. Murong Wu was very worried. Perhaps it will be more than that. Murong Jishui thought to himself. Inside the quiet yard, space patterns appeared everywhere. Yi Chun was in the middle of the space pattern with both of his eyes closed. His soul power was constantly observing the pattern of the space pattern. I only need one more matching point. Once I find it, I will be able to train my Void Shattering Finger Art to 50%. 50% was the dividing line for low-rank Profound Sense martial arts, which meant that he had reached the limit of the space mentality. Compared to 40% of the Void Shattering Finger Art, it would be twice as powerful. The space pattern is different from the water pattern. When 2 circles of water pattern are stacked together, they will cancel each other out, creating a conflict. But the space pattern will merge with each other. Merge! Oh right. The merging will make the power even more powerful. This is the limit of the space mentality. Deep inside Yi Chun's mind, something seemed to have been cleared up, opening up a whole new world for him. Opening his eyes suddenly, Yi Chun took a deep breath. It was a long breath, blowing up sand and rocks in the yard. The chi flow was chaotic. Break. Putting his tongue on the roof of his mouth, Yi Chen pointed out his finger at the fake mountain not far away. Pop! The fake mountain disappeared without a sound, and a bottomless black hole appeared where it had been. All the extra materials had been devoured. Once the void-shattering finger art reached 50%, it would not only be able to break through Zhen Yuan easily, but it would also have a devouring effect. This devouring effect would turn the materials into space power, which would increase the power of the void-shattering finger art. Time was king and space was king. This statement was not empty at all. 50% of the void-shattering finger art's power would be way more powerful than the gold resonant radiance art, because as long as one was hit by the void-shattering finger art, 100% of the power would increase to 120% or even more. It would devour one's Zhen Yuan and increase one's attacking power. I should be 100% confident now, right? Yi Chen's brows relaxed a little. Before, he did not have much confidence because demi-demons were different from humans. There were too many unknowns, especially Yuan Ye's special power, which was even more powerful than his demonization power. So, he had to be careful. But now, everything was no longer a problem. Chapter 545. In the last 4 days, Yi Chen tried his best to familiarize himself with the void-shattering finger. The void-shattering finger art came from the Goat Horn Mountain, which was located in the 100,000 mountain range of the Grey Mystery Nation. Back then, other than the plain-colored jade slip that contained the third movement of the void-shattering finger art, there was also a huge white key. When the white key was activated with energy, it would form 6 huge characters in the Air Emperor's Tomb, Aries constellation. There was a high chance that the tomb of a martial monarch was the tomb of a titled monarch. Based on that, the white key should be the key to open the tomb. As for the void-shattering finger, it was probably not as simple as breaking through the invisible barrier and obtaining the white key. There should be more to it than that. The void-shattering finger art that Yi Chen had obtained was the third movement, and it was related to the tomb of a martial monarch. Therefore, its power and potential were self-evident. If he wanted to master it, it would not be something that could be done in a day. After all, comprehension and application were 2 different things. Even if you had the power of 100 pounds, you might not be able to use all of it. The power of space was just too mysterious. Seriously speaking, Yi Chen was currently unable to use the power of space. What he used was true essence to simulate the power of space. If he wanted to simulate the power of space more successfully, he would need to use the profound meanings of concept. Of course, if he wanted to comprehend the profound of space, the difficulty would not be as easy as comprehending a low-rank profound martial art to completion. In fact, it might be even more difficult. Yi Chen could only put more effort into using it, striving to bring out all of its power. This morning, the ancient Wind City was even more crowded than usual, because it was the wedding day of Yuan Yi from the Yuan family. Within the fog, countless human figures flew out of the ancient Wind City, heading toward the Yuan family in the west. Among them were Yi Chen, Murong Jishui, Murong Wu, and 10 powerful warriors from the Murong family. The day has finally come. Murong Jishui took a deep breath as a cold light flickered in his eyes. Murong Wu also said with a cold voice, "This Yuan family indeed does not respect our Murong family at all. They did not even send us an invitation. We, as the uncles and the father, seem to have become outsiders. Without an invitation, there's no reason to stand on our side. We'll just go." The closer he got to the Yuan family, the more Murong Jishui felt a sense of suffocation in his heart. He could not help but think of his first love. "I wonder if you've been happy all these years?" Murong Jishui thought. Whoosh, whoosh. Since they had to accommodate the 10 elites from the Murong clan, Yi Chen and the other 2 did not increase their speed to the limit. Occasionally, there would be people who would overtake them. Yi Chen frowned. He saw the Yellow Dragon Hall's Deputy Hall Master, Yao Yifeng, and his 2 senior brothers, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei. Yao Yifeng glanced coldly at Yi Chen and transmitted his voice. You really are a scourge. It's not too late to leave now. Yi Chen sneered. You don't need to worry about it. We'll settle our debts later. Settle accounts? I'm afraid you don't have the ability to do so. With a cold snort, Yao Yifeng sped up, turning into a streak of light and fleeing. At this time, Wang Shi's voice sounded. Junior brother Yi, you can make a scene at the wedding. Junior brother Yen and I will speak for you. Thank you, senior brothers. With these two speaking up for him, the situation would undoubtedly improve. At the very least, they represented Dragon God's celestial palace. Then we will go first. See you in the Yuan family. Wang Shi and Yen Kuei increased their speed, following behind Yao Yifeng. After an hour, everyone arrived at the Yuan family. Today, the Yuan family was decorated with lanterns and decorations, looking very festive. As far as the eye could see, there was red everywhere. Outside of the gate, there were rows of warriors in red uniforms waiting to welcome the guests. There was someone there to check the invitation cards. Sorry, you do not have an invitation card. You cannot go in. Yi Chen and his group were blocked outside. Murong Wu said angrily, I am Qingqing's uncle, and this is her father. If we cannot go in, who else can? Without an invitation card, no one can go in. This is the order of the headmaster. The gatekeeper sneered, not taking the three seriously at all. Murong Zhishui said calmly, This is your Yuan family's responsibility. You did not even inform the bride's family. There is no need for this wedding at all. Who is making a scene? The commotion had attracted the attention of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family. A good-looking young man walked over. He looked similar to Yuan Yi, but was a bit older. Yuan Hao. Murong Wu recognized the young man immediately. It was indeed Yuan Ye's brother, Yuan Hao. Yuan Hao glanced at the three and said in a weird tone, So, it is uncle and uncle. You two can go in. As for him, he will stay. Yuan Hao pointed at Yi Chen. This is my brother disciple Yi. What? You want to kick him out? A loud yell was heard as Yen Kuei walked over with big steps. Yuan Hao's expression changed. He tried to suppress his anger as he said, This is our Yuan family. The rules are set by us. Your Yuan family is so powerful. What? Are you going to kick out people from our Dragon God Heaven Palace to show off your power? You! A cold light flashed in Yuan Hao's eyes. If it were in the wild, he would kill Yen Kuei for sure. Brother Yi, let's go in. Let's see who dares to stop us. They had already guessed that the Yuan family would do this, which was why they sent Yen Kuei out. Yi Chen took a deep breath and followed Yen Kuei into the Yuan family. He had already prepared himself for all kinds of troubles, since he was in someone else's territory after all. The wedding would be held in the biggest plaza of the Yuan family. Both sides of the plaza and the front were filled with seats. There were already a lot of people sitting there, drinking tea while chatting. The atmosphere was quite lively. Yuan Jin and Yuan Yi, who was wearing the bridegroom's outfit, saw Yi Chen and the other two. Their faces darkened. All of their plans against Yi Chen had failed. First, Murong Wang disappeared mysteriously, and then Yao Yifeng did not let Yi Chen stay, asking him to go out on a mission. Since you are here, don't even think about leaving in one piece. Yuan Ye's evil chi increased, his eyes looking creepy. It has not reached that stage yet. Yuan Jin vaguely looked at the waiter in the crowd and nodded slightly, seeming to signal something. That waiter also nodded and walked toward Yi Chen's direction. There were a lot of waiters coming and going, bringing tea, snacks, and fruits to every table. It was no exception for Yi Chen's side. Murong Wu was about to drink some water when Murong Zhishui stopped him. Do not eat anything when you are in someone else's territory. Oh right, I forgot about that. Murong Wu seemed to have thought of something as he put down his cup. As for Yi Chen, he did not even look at the tea and snacks on the table. You are not drinking? Yuan Jin frowned. He ordered the waiter to add some 3 calamity powder to their tea. The amount of powder was very small, not enough to make them lose consciousness for 3 days, but it was enough to make them lose consciousness for half a day. After half a day had passed, everything was settled. Luo, it will be up to you now. Yuan Jin sent a message to the gray shadow in the corner. Headmaster, do not worry. I am not their opponent in a head-on battle. But, if it is a sneak attack, I have 100% confidence. The gray shadow's voice was very calm. I trust you. A creepy smile appeared on Yuan Jin's face. All these years, Luo had never disappointed him, and he had never failed before. The number of Master-level Sea of Souls Realm warriors who had died in his hands had already reached 3. Judging on battling power, they were more than 10 times more powerful than Luo. But, under Luo's sneak attacks, they had all died very quickly without any suspense. Luo was the most powerful assassin among Sea of Souls Realm warriors. A waiter walked past the gray shadow. As he left, the gray shadow disappeared as well. No one knew how it disappeared, not even the Master-level Sea of Souls Realm warriors nearby had sensed it. No, they did not even notice the existence of the gray shadow. It was an extremely horrifying scene, one that would make one's hair stand on end. What do you think the Yuan family will do to us next? Murong Wu had brought his own wine, pouring one for Murong Jishui and Yi Chen as he said. Whatever comes, we will just have to deal with it. Yi Chen held the wine glass and shook it slightly. The inside of the glass started to ripple, reflecting everything around them. All of a sudden, a gray shadow flashed past in the glass like an illusion. Yi Chen did not look at the glass, but a vague smile appeared on his face. Murong Jishui frowned slightly. His sight was filled with the waiter's figures. They seemed to have been isolated, and he had a bad feeling about this. Strange. Why do I feel like sleeping? Murong Wu's eyes looked blank as he slowly lowered his eyelids. Not good. Murong Jishui also felt sleepy. For a Master-level Sea of Souls Realm warrior, it would be something unimaginable. Who? A circle of surreal water waves spread out, and the surrounding area fell into darkness. Let's sleep. The twisted gray shadow passed by in front of the 3, making them feel more and more sleepy. They could not even open their eyes anymore. Murong Wu had even started to snore. Only Murong Jishui and Yi Chen were still struggling, trying their best to see the real face of the gray shadow. The gray shadow laughed as his body appeared. He waved his hand and threw out a pile of gray powder toward Yi Chen. It was colorless and odorless, mixed with the qi flow. It covered Yi Chen's head immediately, trying to get into his nostrils. I wonder what other tricks the Yuan family will have after killing you. All of a sudden, Yi Chen sat up straight and opened his eyes. His pupils were clear, and there was no sign of him wanting to sleep at all. The gray shadow yelled with a low voice as he shot backward, his body twisting rapidly. Do you think you can get away? Shoo! The wine spilled out as Yi Chen flicked his finger. That light-like lotus heart sword qi went through the water curtain and landed on the gray shadow's chest that had not twisted yet. Blood splashed out. It was not red, but a dreamy blue color. The blue blood seemed to have washed away the darkness around them, returning the scene back to normal. The sounds of the guests chatting with each other started to become clearer. Boom! A human figure was blown backward, landing in the middle of the plaza. Everyone's attention was attracted by it. They looked over and could not help but gasp. The one lying on the ground in the middle of the plaza was a weird-looking monkey in gray robes. It was only 1 meter tall, and its limbs were covered in long hair. Its face looked like an elder's. Right then, there was a bloody hole in its chest, and blue blood kept pouring out of it. Chapter 546. What? Luo failed. Yuan Jin's pupils shrank, filled with shock. Luo was the name of a clan. There were very few members in this clan. At most, there would not be more than 5. This Luo who followed him was a level 10. He had spent more than 10 years to train this Luo, which was as long as he had been collecting the materials for the 3 disaster enchantment. Mo Luo's battling power was not that powerful, and could even be considered very weak. Rank 10 Mo Luo's battling power would be similar to normal rank 9 beasts, and any Sea of Souls realm warriors would not need to be afraid of it. However, its soul power was extra powerful. Once it reached rank 9, it would master a special power related to the soul. Once it was used, even master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors would not be able to handle it. In the ancient era, Mo Luo's name represented nightmares. No matter how powerful you were, once it got close to you, your life would be under its control. Of course, Mo Luo was not without its weaknesses. Its special power could only be used twice within a short period of time, and after that, it would take a long time to recover. There were 13 people in Yi Chen's group, and they were all living separately in the restaurant in the ancient Wind City. Mo Luo could not control them one by one, and he could not kill them all like he did to master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors in the past. Otherwise, he would not have to wait until today. Yuan Jin had not expected that something that he was so sure of would fail. He did not even know if the Mo Luo was still alive or not. You are looking for death. Mo Luo was way too important for Yuan Jin. He could not control his emotions anymore as he stood up abruptly, looking at Yi Chen with a murderous look. Yi Chen looked at Yuan Jin coldly. If I have guessed it right, this thing is called Mo Luo. It is extremely rare in the world, and your Yuan family is very lucky to have one. Also, who here has discovered its existence? Tried to drug me just now, but I killed it with one finger attack. Mo Luo? I have read about it in the ancient books. No wonder it could hide in the crowd without us knowing. It is the most horrifying assassin among the beasts. Yuan family has a Mo Luo. Then, those master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors who were killed a few years ago might have something to do with it. Yuan Jin, what is going on? Let me ask you, was Mo Luo from your Yuan family the one who killed our Gulan martial school's Master Han? The master of the Gulan martial school, who had come to congratulate Yi Chen, suddenly started to attack, his face extremely pale. The Master Han he was talking about was a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior of the Gulan martial school. For a rank 5 martial school, master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors were definitely the backbone of the martial school, the symbol of the rise and fall of the martial school. As for the life and death realm warriors, although they were more powerful than master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors, they would not show up easily. They were like the nuclear weapons from Yi Chen's world. Having a master-level Sea of Souls realm assassinated, the Gulan martial school had suffered a huge loss. It would be strange if they were not angry about it. It was just that they still could not find the culprit. Right now, Mo Luo had appeared in the Yuan family. Without a doubt, the Yuan family was the biggest suspect. The master of the Gulan party was furious. People from the Yuan family looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Right then, Yuan Ye's brother, Yuan Hao, walked out and said with a loud voice, "Everyone, do not listen to his side of the story. He is trying to frame our Yuan family. Whether it is a trap or not, we all know it. As for Mo Luo appearing in the Yuan family, it is not a trap for you." Murong Jishui woke up from his drowsiness. Seeing this scene, he knew who was behind it immediately. He was secretly scared, but at the same time, he said sarcastically, "Murong Jishui." Yuan Jin stared at Yi Chen and Murong Jishui without blinking. If possible, he would like to gather all of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family to kill the two, just to relieve the anger of Mo Luo being killed. Yuan Jin, you still owe us an explanation. All of the people from the Gulan party, who had come to congratulate the Yuan family, all stood up, looking at the people from the Yuan family with an unfriendly expression. "Father, you cannot admit that Mo Luo was raised by our Yuan family. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable." Yuan Hao secretly sent a message to Yuan Jin. Yuan Jin naturally knew what to do. He tightened his fists, then relaxed them soon after. "Everyone, our Yuan family did not know about this Mo Luo. Its appearance here might be someone messing around, purposely putting on a show for you all. Yen Kuei could not help but sneer. Headmaster Yuan, it seemed like you were angry just now. Why did you have to be angry right now? People from the Gulan party did not believe Yuan Jin's words either, so they stared at him without blinking. Today is my son's wedding day. How can we let blood be spilled? Do you think I cannot be angry after seeing blood? What kind of logic is this? Yuan Jin was even more cunning than expected. His words were flawless, making it hard for people to catch him. Pausing for a second, he continued to say, if Mo Luo was raised by our Yuan family, then it would not be discovered at all. Once it was discovered, it would mean that it has nothing to do with our Yuan family. After all, Mo Luo's special power is something that even Master Level C of Soul's Realm warriors could not handle. Do you think he could? It seems to make sense. A lot of people chose to wait and see. Tapping on the table with his fingers, Yi Chen's expression did not change. What kind of logic is this? If it was discovered, it would have nothing to do with your Yuan family. If it was not discovered, then no one would know about Mo Luo. In other words, no matter if it was discovered or not, your Yuan family would still be able to stay out of it. Is that what you are trying to say? How dare you? How dare you accuse me? Yuan Hao looked at Yi Chen with a creepy expression. The warning and threat in his eyes were obvious. Everything needs evidence. If you just listen to his words, then I will have nothing to say. But I will make it clear once again that this Mo Luo has nothing to do with our Yuan family. Yuan Jin took a deep look at Yi Chen as he said to the leading master of the Gulan party. The leading master of the Gulan party took a couple of deep breaths, his eyes looking extremely dark. Indeed, there was no solid evidence for this. Without any solid evidence, it would be unreasonable to start a conflict with the Yuan family. So, he sat down and said with a cold voice, all right. Today I will give your Yuan family some face. But, if my Gulan party finds out the truth in the future, you will not be able to get away with it. Hearing him, Yuan Jin let out a breath. Find out the truth? What a joke. If you can find out the truth, then you will have the capability. Turning his head, Yuan Jin ordered, come on. Take Mo Luo's body away before it stains the wedding venue. No hurry. It was Yi Chen who spoke. Since your Yuan family does not want to admit the existence of this Mo Luo, then this body should belong to me, because I am the one who killed it. Yi Chen did not have this thought at first, but the dream-eating wolf in his beast tag seemed to have sensed the Mo Luo's qi, so it started to roar excitedly. Through the soul mark, Yi Chen knew that it really needed the body. It was understandable, since the dream-eating wolf could create dreams, so it was extremely powerful in terms of soul power. Since the Mo Luo could enchant souls, its soul power should be equally powerful. Devouring the flesh and beast pellet of the Mo Luo would help the dream-eating wolf recover from the wounds on its soul. Yuan Jin would not let Yi Chen take away the body of the Mo Luo, since it would be useful to him as well. So, he said coldly, this happened in our Yuan family, so we have the right to deal with the body. There is no need for you to worry about it. Take it away. Yes. A powerful warrior of the Yuan family took away the body. What a shame. Yi Chen did not continue to say anything. He thought to himself that it was such a shame. Looking at the dream-eating wolf's desperate look, he knew how important the body was to it. Waiting until Mo Luo's body was moved away, Yuan Jin said with a low voice, today is my second son's wedding day. I hope things will go smoothly and without any problems. Whoever dares to mess around will be going against our Yuan family. If they go against me, Yuan Jin, they will have to bear the consequences. After he finished talking, he glanced over at Yi Chen and the rest, with a heavy sense of warning. As time went on, the wedding officially started. Soon, Murong Qingqing, who was wearing a bright red bridal dress with a red silk cloth covering her head, walked out. Then, Yuan Yi, who was wearing a black groom outfit with a big red flower on his chest, walked out as well. Just when they were about to perform the ceremony, Yi Chen took a deep breath and said with a loud voice, "I object to this wedding." With the help of his Zhen Yuan, his voice spread out everywhere, and everyone could hear it clearly. Everyone could not help but be shocked, not knowing what Yi Chen was trying to do. Yuan Jin tried to control his anger. "Go on." Yi Chen sneered. "Do you Yuan family only know this kind of dirty tricks? This wedding is a conspiracy." "How can you say that? If you cannot give me a reason, then don't blame me for being ruthless." A horrifying qi exploded out of Yuan Jin's body as he stared at Yi Chen with an evil look. Yi Chen was not afraid at all. The bride is already under your control. Right now, she is just a puppet. She is not willing to do this at all. What? Are you serious? Everyone was shocked. Hearing him, Yuan Jin, Yuan Yi, and Yuan Hao's expressions changed. Just as Yi Chen had said, right then, Murong Qingqing could not speak, nor could she move freely. All of her actions were being controlled, and it was not her own will. "Yi Chen, you have been messing around time and time again. Do you really think that our Yuan family is easy to bully?" Yuan Hao walked out. "Whether it is messing around or not, you can let the bride say a few words. If she can speak freely, then it will prove the innocence of your Yuan family." The clothes that Murong Qingqing was wearing had the ability to reflect soul power. It would not be that effective during a battle, since the soul power would be reflected back, which would expose her. But right now, it had the effect of not being detected by soul power. But Yi Chen's soul power was way more powerful than Sea of Souls realm warriors, so he could naturally see through it and see Murong Qingqing's expressionless face. Yuan Hao said with a creepy voice, "Innocence is not up to you to decide. For the dignity of my Yuan family, I, Yuan Hao, will challenge you right here. If you do not dare, then the wedding will go on, just in case it gets delayed." "What if I win?" "We will talk about it after you win. Take my spear." A long black spear appeared in Yuan Hao's hand. The tip of the spear shook once, looking like a black angry dragon as it stabbed toward Yi Chen's chest. "How wound him badly?" Right then, Yuan Jin sent a message to Yuan Hao. "I know." In Yuan Hao's mind, he had been wanting to step on Yi Chen for a long time, humiliating him in front of everyone. It was the consequence of messing with the Yuan family. Chapter 547. That black flowing light was like an angry dragon or a shooting star. A lot of people there did not even have the time to react before they saw Yuan Hao throwing out a spear attack toward Yi Chen. It was an unexpected attack, as if it was meant to catch people off guard. With just a little bit of carelessness, one would be at a huge disadvantage or even be wounded badly. Despicable! Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were both furious. Yi Chen did not have the time to stand up. His right hand reached toward his waist and took out his gold sword. The sword tore apart the air, clashing with the spear tip. Chin! Sparks flew everywhere as the chair Yi Chen was sitting on turned into dust. This sword intent? Yuan Hao wanted to embarrass Yi Chen, since he could tell that Yi Chen was only at peak level early Seas of Souls realm. Even if he could fight beyond his cultivation, it would not be that crazy. But his cultivation had already reached peak level mid Seas of Souls realm, and his martial spirit had reached peak level rank 3 as well. That unexpected spear attack should be able to make Yi Chen look quite bad. But that sword attack just now contained a normal Jin Yuan, but the sword intent was extra powerful. It had shattered the martial intent that he had infused into his attack. Demon Monument Fist. After that spear attack, Yuan Hao's left hand left the spear body as he flipped his wrist, grabbing a huge black Jin Yuan stone tablet and smashing it down, trying to suppress Yi Chen. Shoo! The black Jin Yuan stone tablet had not fully materialized yet when a beam of sword chi flashed past, cutting the stone tablet in half. After cutting the stone tablet open, Yi Chen lifted his head to look at Yuan Hao. The latter had missed 2 attacks, so he used the power of the chi explosion to fly out dozens of meters into the air. That rich brown chi spread out from his body and eventually gathered on the tip of his spear. That spear light suddenly shot out from the tip of the spear, stretching and stretching like a snake's tongue, giving people an endless feeling of fear. No wonder you are so arrogant. You do have some power. But it is still not enough. Looking down at Yi Chen, a cruel smile appeared on Yuan Hao's face. Use your demonification ability. Otherwise, the situation will be very ugly. Pointing the gold sword at the ground, Yi Chen sounded very calm. It was this calm tone that made Yuan Hao's veins pop out on his forehead. An ant asking him to use all of his power? Nothing was more ridiculous and infuriating than this. Many of the experts from the Yuan family were also full of disdain. In their eyes, Yi Chen was no different from a clown. Soon, he would know what humiliation was. He really doesn't know what's good for him. Big brother, remember to count my share as well. Teach him an unforgettable lesson. With the wedding paused, the angriest person would be Yuan Yi. Right now, what he wanted to see the most was Yi Chen being stepped on. Yuan Hao sneered and passed on a message, "Don't worry. I will let him know the consequences of going against the Yuan family. Of course, it is a rare opportunity. Beating him instantly would be too boring. It seems like this brat is going to be unlucky. Yuan Hao and Yuan Yi have always been cruel and brutal. Messing with them would hurt both physically and mentally. Yuan Hao is already 35 or 36 years old after all. He has reached his peak in almost every aspect. Those who are younger than 30 would have to go to the Sky Martial region to find them. Basically, everyone there did not think that Yi Chen would win. Even the masters of the Gulan Martial School were shaking their heads and frowning. Shoo! Just as everyone was discussing, Yuan Hao's body flashed like a brown lightning bolt. He appeared on the right side of Yi Chen within a second, throwing out a spear attack. Yi Chen backed out while his gold sword shone with a sword light. Do you think you can escape? Yuan Hao's spear aura changed along with Yi Chen's position. The long black spear had only swept out halfway before stabbing out again, chasing after Yi Chen, who was backing out. Yi Chen sneered. His whole body turned into a sword light, moving forward instead of backing out. He stuck close to the long black spear and arrived in front of Yuan Hao, throwing out a sword attack. What kind of step art is this? Yuan Hao was shocked, throwing out a punch at the gold sword. Chin. Bright sparks appeared as Yuan Hao dragged his long spear and backed out continuously. Such a horrifying sword power. Yuan Hao was wearing gloves, but his entire left arm had gone numb. Shoo! Yi Chen caught up with him and threw out a sword attack. This sword attack contained his profound sword movement, amaranthan nature. The sword power was endless, and in front of the tip of the sword, circles of vacuum halo appeared. It was a sign that the sword's speed was so fast that the air had been pierced through continuously. Piss off! Yuan Hao roared as he lifted up the long black spear with his right hand and waved it out heavily. Swoosh! Although the power of amaranthan nature was not as powerful as the gold resonant radiance attack, judging from the technique, it was definitely more powerful. Once the sword attack was thrown out, it would be very hard to defend against. The gold sword brushed past the long black spear, bringing up a bright spark. The sword attack landed on Yuan Hao's shoulder, and the sword light went right through. The trajectory is off. Yi Chen frowned slightly. That sword attack was supposed to pierce through Yuan Hao's chest, but since the latter did not plan to go easy on him, he would naturally not go easy on him either. He would pierce through his chest and make him bedridden for a couple of months. The wound on his shoulder had shocked Yuan Hao a bit. He had not expected that he would be wounded like this, especially by a young man who was 10 years younger than him. Not only was Yuan Hao shocked, everyone present was also a bit shocked. Impressive. That sword attack was not that powerful in terms of power, it could only be considered normal. But it was able to increase its speed during the attack, making it even faster than it actually was. A few of them had seen through the mystery of that sword attack, so they praised in their minds. Bastard! Yuan Hao's eyes turned red as he was about to fight back. Dang! Taking out the gold sword, Yi Chen knocked on the bottom half of the long black spear. He then used his power to make Yuan Hao's right arm go numb as well. The long spear flew out of his hand and turned into a shooting star, shooting through all of the buildings in the distance before finally stabbing into an inner mountain. I told you to use your demonization power as soon as possible. After kicking away Yuan Hao, Yi Chen stood in the air. Pooh! Yuan Hao kept puking out blood. The wound on his shoulder had shattered his protective Zhen Yuan layer within a second. That kick from Yi Chen had even cracked his chest bone. Yi Chen, this brat? He had been hiding his power when he was fighting with me. Murong Wu, who was on the ground, had a smile on his face. Murong Jishui said, "He had told me that if he used all of his power, you would not be able to take 10 attacks from him." 10 attacks? So powerful. Murong Wu was a bit surprised. It should be true. Looking back at the time of his rise, have I ever seen him lose? That is true. But Yuan Hao had not used his demonization power yet. I wonder how much more powerful he would be after partial demonization. Cough. Puking out another mouthful of blood, Yuan Hao looked at Yi Chen with hatred. Very good. You managed to wound me. It has been a long time since I last got wounded. Yi Chen said lightly, "Do you still want to continue? Do you think you have won? What a joke. Next, I will show you what it means to pay you back in double." Yuan Hao groaned. His body tensed up all of a sudden, and waves of black qi could be seen coming out of his arms. Both of his arms seemed to be burning with a black flame. Both arms demonized. No, right chest demonized as well. Murong Jishui's pupils shrank. His opponent was indeed one of the top young warriors of the Yuan family. In terms of demonization, he was even more powerful than him. It was only his control that was weaker than him, since he was a master level C of Soul's Realm warrior after all. With both arms and right chest demonized, Yuan Hao's qi had increased by more than 30%. His right arm's attacking power had increased by 40 to 50%, and his left arm had also increased by 30%. All of a sudden, the whole sky had been dyed black. It was an endless darkness that even devoured the sunlight. Your demonization speed is too slow. There was no reason for Yi Chen to just watch his opponent demonize. He straightened his gold sword and a crescent-shaped sword qi swept out, cutting off half of the clouds in the sky. As for Yuan Hao, he was blown miles away by the sword qi, breaking a mountain. Little brat Yi, is this the fairness you seek? Yuan Jin's eyebrows twitched as he stared at Yi Chen angrily. Wang Shi sneered, "Headmaster Yuan, earlier, when your son attacked Yi Chen unexpectedly, why didn't you say anything? Now, it is your son's turn, and you are trying to talk about fairness? Even if you don't feel ashamed, I feel ashamed for you." Wang Shi, shut up. What kind of attitude is this? Before Yuan Jin could say anything, Yao Yifeng stared at Wang Shi with a displeased expression. Yan Kuei and Wang Shi had the best relationship, so he argued back. "Second leader, what did Brother Wang say wrong? You cannot speak for an outsider." Yao Yifeng said coldly, "Yi Chen has caused so much trouble and brought shame to our Dragon God Heaven Palace. From now on, you are not allowed to speak for him. Otherwise, you will be punished according to the palace rules." Hearing him, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were both furious. The two exchanged a look and made up their minds. Boom! The mountain exploded, and Yuan Hao rushed out with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. As the eldest son of the headmaster of the Yuan family, Yuan Hao had 3 top-ranked defensive items on him, 1 chest armor and 2 arm guards. That sword attack from Yi Chen was very powerful, but it did not break through his defensive items. It had only wounded him a little bit, and after his body demonized, it was still within his bearable range. Damn it! You will regret what you have done. Demon Gold Flash. Yuan Hao reached out his right hand, and 3 inches away from his palm, a couple meters big dark gold light ball appeared. It spun at an extremely fast speed before being compressed into the size of a fist. The super dense Zhen Yuan vibration had messed up the natural Yuan Qi in the air, and thunder and lightning interweaved in the sky. It is the Demon Gold Flash. Alright, I will wound him badly with one attack. Yuan Jin and Yuan Ye's eyes brightened. The Demon Gold Flash was one of the most commonly used martial arts of the demons. The principle was to concentrate the demon power to a high degree and then release it in the shape of a ray. The powerful power could pierce through the ground within a second, and warriors of the same realm would not be able to handle it at all. The reason why the demons' martial arts were so powerful was because of the powerful bodies of the demons. Only with a powerful body could they perform the extremely demanding martial arts of the demons. Normally, a human demon would have to demonize 3 parts of their body before they could perform the Demon Gold Flash that was compressed with Zhen Yuan. Of course, normal demons did not have the martial arts of the demons, so no matter how many parts they had demonized, it would be useless. It was the advantage of the Yuan family. Fall now. Yuan Hao pushed out his Zhen Yuan, and the dark gold light ball shot out like a dark gold ray. Its speed was unbelievably fast. Wherever the dark gold ray went, the space pattern would be squeezed together, which was an extremely horrifying scene. Not good. It is the martial arts of the demons. Murong Jishue could not help but stand up, looking at Yi Chen nervously. Chapter 548. This attack is quite powerful. It has displayed its attacking power to its fullest. Yi Chen could tell with a single glance that the Demon Gold Flash was an attack that focused on attacking power. There was nothing special about it. It only had a horrifying destructive power. Perhaps it was lacking in attacking techniques, or rather, it did not have any attacking techniques at all. It was only a straight line of destruction. But its speed had made up for that. Hundreds of meters of distance was no different from dozens of meters. It could be covered within a flash. There was only one way to avoid the Demon Gold Flash, and that was to avoid it with his shocking speed. If he were to be scratched even a little bit, he would die a horrible death. With my speed, it would be a bit hard to avoid it. My sword light flying spell also needs a certain amount of time to activate. Plus, it would require me to take off my protective Zhen Yuan layer, so my external defense would be close to 0. Once I am hit, the consequences would be even more severe. It seems like I will have to expose some of my power. With that thought in mind, Yi Chen's eyes suddenly turned sharp. Without backing out, he held his gold sword with both of his hands and waved it down. Almost at the same moment when Yi Chen waved out his gold sword, the dark gold ray appeared 10 meters in front of Yi Chen in a flash. Then, it was blocked out by a sword light that was almost completely golden in color. That sword light was not still, but vibrating. Each blink of an eye, it would vibrate for more than 2,000 times. There was no sound. The second the golden sword light and the dark gold ray clashed, the whole world went silent. Within a radius of dozens of miles, no sound could be heard at all. Everything had been shattered by the vibrating air, disappearing into nothingness. Without a sound, some of the buildings of the Yuan family down below started to crumble, turning into dust like sand. The good thing was that the location of the battle was high enough. Otherwise, the area of destruction would be even bigger. Boom. The silence lasted for about 3 blinks of an eye. After 3 blinks of an eye, a huge ball of light flashed, making the sun in the sky seem dimmer. Within thousands of miles, the sea of clouds directly evaporated, and a cloudless and sunny scene appeared. Right then, the chi flow explosion was not over yet. The second the flash weakened, a circle of knife-like dark gold pattern spread out. Wherever the pattern reached, as long as it was higher than the height of the pattern, it would all be sliced off, leaving behind a smooth surface. Pooh! Yuan Hao did not have the power to fight back at all. He was blown away by the dark gold ripple. His top-rank chest armor and arm guards were making creaking noises, as if they were going to shatter at any second. That sharp shockwave even traveled through the defensive treasures into his body, making him puke out a lot of blood. The shockwave is so powerful? Everyone watched as Yuan Hao was sent flying, and they all sucked in a breath of cold air. Normally, shockwaves wouldn't be able to hurt the combatants. After all, the shockwaves would spread out in all directions, and once they spread out, their power would quickly decrease, unless they were at the center of the shockwave. However, Yuan Hao was hundreds of meters away from the center of the shockwave. By the way, Yi Chen is only 10 meters away from the site of the explosion. I wonder how he is doing. His injuries are probably worse than Yuan Hao's. Most likely. A lot of people curiously looked at where Yi Chen was. In the sky, the flashes continued, but compared to before, they were 100 times weaker. Through the flashes, they could vaguely see a figure inside. It is so close. He must be badly wounded. Seeing that, Yuan Yi and Yuan Jin both thought that Yi Chen had taken in all of the shockwave. At such a close distance, even if he was at late sea of Soul's realm, his protective Zhen Yuan would not be able to handle it. Plus, Yi Chen was only at peak level early sea of Soul's realm. Yi Chen will be okay, right? Murong Wu said worriedly. Murong Zhishui did not say anything as he stared at the flashes without blinking. Pop! The flashes disappeared, revealing Yi Chen's body. Yi Chen maintained the posture of waving his sword. On top of the gold sword, there was still a trace of dark gold qi surrounding it, spreading out to the sides. He did not puke blood? Yuan Yi was shocked. No need to rush. Some of the more serious wounds would not be visible from the outside. Yuan Jin frowned. He did not believe that Yi Chen would be completely fine. Who? Letting out a long breath, Yi Chen's body relaxed. His gold sword pointed at the ground as he looked down at the crowd. Eventually, his gaze locked onto Yuan Jin and his son. Yuan Hao has lost. Can you take out the spell on her now? Yi Chen was talking about Murong Qingqing. She is really not wounded. Yuan Jin and his son looked very bad. At the same time, they were secretly shocked by Yi Chen's power. Although Yuan Hao was not as powerful as Yuan Yi, he was definitely one of the top spirit warriors. Even if he ran into some of the weaker master level C of Soul's realm warriors, he would still be able to survive. Yuan Yi was more powerful than him in terms of martial arts and his perfect demi-demon bloodline. Hurry! Bring Hao back. Yuan Jin ordered one of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family, then said to Yi Chen with a low voice, I do not know what you are talking about. Yi and Lady Qingqing are both willing. This marriage is not a problem at all. Otherwise, she would not come to our Yuan family. My daughter and your son are both willing? What kind of joke is this? They did not even know each other before, did they? Murong Zhishui said angrily. Yuan Jin stared at Murong Zhishui coldly. The relationship between a man and a woman would not be limited by time. Murong Zhishui, you do not want your daughter to marry into our Yuan family because of what happened back then. I will tell you again, our Yuan family did not force her. You separating from her is something between the two of you, and it has nothing to do with our Yuan family. Whether it has anything to do with me or not, I know it very well. But now, please let my daughter go back to normal. Otherwise, do not blame me for being rude. Mentioning his first girlfriend, Murong Zhishui was a bit emotional as he said with a cold look in his eyes. Yuan Jin was not angry at all as he said lightly, Yes, we did do something to your daughter. But it was because we did not want her to be affected by you. Everyone here has a family, so you should know how a father affects his daughter. For my son's happiness, we had to do this. You restricted my daughter, and you still think you are right? Let me ask you again, will you take off the spell or not? Murong Zhishui stood up. I suggest that you do not do anything reckless. This is the Yuan family, and you are a member of the demi-demon family. You better watch your words and behavior. Otherwise, I would not mind locking you up in the Yuan family for you to reflect on. Uncle, do not do anything reckless. Let me take care of this. Yi Chen passed on his Zhen Yuan to Murong Jishui. Murong Jishui tried his best to take a couple of deep breaths before sitting down with anger. He knew that even if he made a scene, it would only make things worse, and it would only benefit the Yuan family. Right now, he could only rely on Yi Chen and Yi Chen's background. It seems like this is very complicated. We will just watch the show. Who cares who is right or wrong? Everyone on the scene sat there casually, drinking tea while chatting. For them, it did not matter who was right or wrong. His body slowly landed as Yi Chen stood in the middle of the plaza. He said with a cold voice, "I will say it again. Take off the spell on her. This is our Yuan family's business. You do not have the right to interfere. Plus, she is destined to be my wife. If you dare to stand in my way again, I will not guarantee that I will not do anything." Yuan Yi looked at Yi Chen provocatively. The threat was obvious. Lifting up his gold sword slowly, Yi Chen said lightly, "What kind of dog thing do you think you are? You only know how to use this kind of dirty trick. How dare you call me a dog thing?" Yuan Yi was furious. Yuan Jin's face darkened as well. Yi Chen calling Yuan Yi a dog thing was the same as insulting him and the whole Yuan family. "How dare you? Kneel down and apologize. Otherwise, you will not be able to walk out of the Yuan family today." Dozens of Yuan family warriors stood out, their chi power almost exploding out. "You are the one who is presumptuous. Yi Chen is a martial genius that the leader of the Dragon God Heaven Palace has chosen. You dare to ask him to kneel down? Do you not want to live anymore?" Wang Shi and Yan Kuei stood up together. "He dares to bully our Yuan family. How are we going to deal with this? Even if he does not kneel down, he will have to apologize to the whole Yuan family." "Yes, he has to apologize. One by one. Don't even think about leaving without apologizing. Our Yuan family is not that easy to bully." "Apologize? What are you apologizing for? You should be lucky that I did not ask you to apologize to my brother disciple Yi," Yan Kuei said without a care in the world. "Headmaster." Right then, that Yuan family warrior who had been sent out flew back with the badly wounded Yuan Hao on his back. Yuan Jin glanced at the unconscious Yuan Hao, and his face darkened even more. "Yi Chen, you have wounded my son badly. This will not end easily. Right now I will give you one chance. Leave the Yuan family immediately. Otherwise you will have to bear the consequences. I can leave. But before that I will undo the spell on her first." "That is impossible," Yuan Jin rejected without hesitation. "If it is impossible, then what else is there to talk about? I think this marriage was forced by your Yuan family. Brother Yi, take her and leave. Whoever dares to stop you will be going against our Dragon God Heaven Palace." Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were helping him from the back. "You two, shut up." Yao Yifeng was furious. These two had helped Yi Chen time and time again, and did not even put him in their eyes. His heavy chi covered the two immediately. "I respect you as the second leader. But, if you do things unfairly, then we will not listen to you." "You will not listen to me." Yao Yifeng squinted his eyes, looking very dangerous. "Father, let me fight with him. If I win, then he will have nothing to say." Yuan Yi could not help but suggest. Yuan Jin hesitated. "Are you 100% sure?" He had already noticed that Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were obviously supporting Yi Chen. As long as they were there, the Yuan family would not dare to do anything to Yi Chen, and the wedding would not be able to continue. But Yi Chen's power had shocked him quite a bit, and he knew that it would not be easy to take on him. Yuan Yi licked his lips and said, "Don't worry. I am 120% sure that I can take him on. I will only win, not lose." "All right then. Remember, use all of your power. Do not hold back." Chapter 549. Yuan Jin hated Yi Chen to the bone. He had first killed Mo Luo, then messed up the wedding ceremony, and ruined everything for the Yuan family. This hatred would never be forgotten. One day, when the Dragon King passed away, he would let him know what it meant to be worse than death, and what it meant to regret. As for now, he would let Yi Chen get back some interest first. Show mercy? I will not. Murong Qingqing will only be my woman. Competing with me for a woman, he will have to live under my shadow for the rest of his life. I will attack and humiliate him all the time. Under that endless attack and humiliation, what else can he achieve? Once he has nothing left, I, Yuan Yi, will kill him like killing a dog. With a wicked smile on his face, Yuan Yi, who was wearing a bridegroom outfit, walked out with big steps. He pointed his finger at Yi Chen and said, "Yi Chen, do you dare to battle with me? Before, it was your brother Yuan Hao, and now it is you. Do I have to challenge you one by one?" Yi Chen said sarcastically, "What? You don't dare? If you do not dare, then leave the Yuan family now. From now on, do not appear in front of me, Yuan Yi." "Why not? But what would I get if I win against you?" Yuan Yi said, "If you win against me, my father will naturally remove the spell on her. On the other hand, if you lose, then this has nothing to do with you. You will leave immediately. Whoever dares to break the promise, the other party can kill them. How about that? Are you satisfied?" "Yuan Jin, do you agree?" Yi Chen looked at Yuan Jin. Yuan Jin said lightly, "Little Ye's meaning is my meaning. I hope you will not go back on your words." As he spoke, Yi Chen jumped up into the sky. Yuan Yi sneered, flying up as well. Thousands of meters up in the sky, the two of them maintained a distance of 500 meters, facing each other. The biting cold wind blew at their clothes and hair, giving them a trace of killing intent. "Yi Chen, be careful of Yuan Ye's special power. Although I do not know what his special power is, but according to the special power awakened by the perfect demi-demon bloodline in the history of the demi-demons, it might be something related to speed or defense. These two are the most common and practical ones." Down below, Murong Jishui passed on his Zhen Yuan to tell Yi Chen to be careful. Yi Chen replied without batting an eyelid, "Don't worry, uncle. No matter what his talent is, I will defeat him." If it were before he had trained his void-shattering finger art to 50%, Yi Chen would indeed be afraid of Yuan Ye's special power. But now, he did not need to be afraid at all. All he needed to do was to be cautious, since no special power would be able to increase one's power to such a ridiculous level. Being able to increase it by one fold would already be the best it could be. On the other hand, his void-shattering finger could easily break through the protective Zhen Yuan of experts of the same level when he had only comprehended a tiny bit of it. The only thing lacking was its lethality. Right now, his void-shattering finger was more than 100 times stronger than before. It could be said that the protective Zhen Yuan of Sea of Soul Realm experts was no different from a piece of paper in front of his void-shattering finger. Its lethality was even more incomparable. So confident? Murong Jishui had never seen Yi Chen's void-shattering finger art before, so he did not know where he got his confidence from. But of course, it would be great if he was confident. "Are you ready?" Yuan Yi looked at Yi Chen with confidence. "We can start anytime." Yi Chen placed his right hand on his gold sword. Pap, pap, pap. The two had not even exchanged blows yet, but their aggressive auras had already clashed together, bringing up countless air swirls. Once one reached the Sea of Soul's realm, the aura would no longer be something intangible. Because of the martial will contained within, its attacking power would be quite powerful. It would be able to wound astral-reaching realm warriors badly. Of course, the aura did not have a physical shape, and was only a mental attack. Therefore, it would not be as powerful as the attacks between astral-reaching realm warriors. But, it was still quite shocking. Boom! The last wave of aura attacks seemed to be the two using all of their power. A circle of transparent patterns spread out, changing the color of the sky. Rank 4 Martial Spirit. Yi Chen had tested out the rank of Yuan Ye's martial spirit. It was rank 4, which was equivalent to master level, which was a lot more powerful than Yuan Hao. Added with his peak level mid-sea of Soul's Realm cultivation, it was extremely powerful. No wonder he was so confident. Yi Chen's martial spirit has reached rank 4? A joyful expression flashed past Yuan Jin's face as he thought to himself, it seems like letting Yi travel in the sky martial region for 1 year was the right decision. Within 1 year, his martial will had already started to shine, and his martial spirit had reached rank 4. But this brat's aura is no weaker than Yi Chen's. His sword spirit should be at least at peak level rank 4. It was impossible for Yuan Jin not to know that Yi Chen's cultivation was at peak level early sea of Soul's Realm. To be able to compete with Yi Chen's aura, his sword spirit must be at least half a rank higher. Plus, using his sword intent to attack had made up for the disadvantage of his cultivation. If I have guessed it right, your sword spirit should be at peak level rank 4, right? Yuan Yi was a bit surprised. So what? It was just a test, so Yi Chen did not use his slaughter sword intent. His aura contained the destruction sword intent that had not been combined yet, which was at peak level rank 4. Very good. It will be more interesting to beat you like this. Yuan Yi had just returned from the Sky Martial region not too long ago. Back there, he had been beaten by a lot of young warriors with peak level rank 4 martial spirits or sword spirit. Plus, those young warriors were different from Yi Chen, they were all very powerful. Even with his talent, he could not do anything about it. So, he had been frustrated for a long time. And now, Yi Chen's sword spirit was also at peak level rank 4, which gave him another reason to humiliate Yi Chen and vent his anger. Water Beast Cage. Trap him. Yuan Yi groaned as both of his hands formed a spell at an extremely high speed. All of a sudden, a shocking amount of water yuan qi gathered from all directions, attaching onto the cage that was formed from Zhen Yuan. This cage was pushed by the water profound and formed quickly. Judging from its shape, it seemed to be even more powerful than the Iron Palm Master's fire cage. But the Iron Palm Master was a master level C of Soul's Realm warrior, so his profound comprehension and control would be even more powerful. With a clank, the cage descended from the sky, trapping Yi Chen inside. You want to trap me? Yi Chen took out his gold sword and threw out a sword attack onto the cage. Crack! The cage was broken with a loud noise. Yuan Yi was not in a hurry as he said with a creepy voice, "It is not over yet. The final form." The broken cage was repaired at an extreme speed. At the same time, a toad-like Zhen Yuan water beast appeared on top of the cage. With the toad-like water beast's help, the surface of the cage shone with a green light, looking like it was made from solid crystals. Mid-rank profound sense martial art. Yi Chen finally understood. No wonder it was even more powerful than the Iron Palm Master's fire cage. It turned out to be a mid-rank profound sense martial art. However, his opponent's understanding of the profound sense of water was not that impressive. It seemed like he could only perform 30% of this profound sense martial art. Break. Zhen Yuan vibrated as Yi Chen performed his gold resonant radiance sword art. Chin. The sturdiness of the water beast cage was not as powerful as the Iron Palm Master's fire cage after all. Under Yi Chen's most powerful sword attack, it was shattered into pieces. Killing water fist art. Yuan Yi had never thought about using the water beast cage to trap Yi Chen completely. After all, his achievement in it was not that high yet, so it could only be used to gain an advantage for himself. But now that his goal had been achieved, he roared as a circle of black pattern appeared on his right fist. It covered half of the sky, turning that area into a world of water. He threw out a heavy punch toward Yi Chen, who had already used up all of his previous power. Reverse Sky Thunder Cut. Yi Chen held his green longsword with his left hand and threw out a sword attack. Bang! The power of the killing water fist art was extremely powerful. Yi Chen was blown away. But he had used his slaughter sword intent for this sword attack, so he was not wounded at all. Down. That fist attack had gotten him a bigger advantage, so Yuan Yi chased after him. His body kept flashing, and his speed was extremely fast, no slower than Yi Chen's. He then threw out one powerful killing water fist art after another. The whole sky was filled with black fist shadows and water patterns. Putting the longsword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen flicked out his 5 fingers on his left hand, shooting out beams of lotus heart sword chi. Because there were so many of them, they formed into a sword chi tornado. With the sheer amount of sword chi, it cancelled out all of Yuan Ye's fist power. What? Finger sword chi? So many. Yuan Yi thought that Yi Chen's most powerful attack would be his gold resonant radiance attack. Therefore, he had used the water beast cage to trap Yi Chen, forcing him to use up his gold resonant radiance attack first so that he would not be able to use it again in a short period of time. But he did not expect that Yi Chen would also have the sword chi tornado, which was extremely concentrated. Dang! Dang! In that critical moment, Yuan Yi crossed his hands in front of his body and formed a 6-star shield in front of him. The shield looked like a human-sized crystal. It was very thick in the middle, and the 2 sides of the shield extended out in a streamlined shape. It was the defensive profound sense martial art that he was most proud of. The sword chi was endless, suppressing Yuan Yi so much that he could not move at all. All of a sudden, the sword chi tornado disappeared, and a wave of golden sword light rushed over, landing on Yuan Ye's shield. Boom! Like a crystal that had been shattered, the shield was shattered. Right then, Yi Chen was already close to Yuan Yi. Yuan Yi lifted up his head, a creepy light shining in his eyes. I have been waiting for you. My special power. Defense enhancement. Compared to Yuan Hao's demonization power, Yuan Ye's speed of performing his special power was extremely fast. 2 sharp horns suddenly grew out of his head. The base of the horns was extremely thick, with a spiral pattern on it. The tip of the horns shone with a cold light. Once they touched the air, a fist-sized vacuum space was created. The second the horns appeared, Yuan Ye's skin and protective Zhen Yuan layer had changed. It had turned slightly black, and its thickness had increased by a couple of times. This special power was similar to the demonization power, but it was even more powerful. The strengthening of his defense had increased Yuan Ye's power as well. More importantly, he could now ignore his opponent's attacks, and only needed to attack with all his might. Back out! Yuan Yi threw out his light black fist. It was still the killing water fist art, but its power had been increased by a lot. Space patterns started to appear on the surface of his fist. Yi Chen's well-prepared sword attack had already arrived, and it clashed with his opponent's fist. Dang! A metal exploding sound was heard as the two backed out in different directions. But the difference was that Yuan Yi managed to stop himself from backing out very soon and charged at Yi Chen again. He sneered, "After the strengthening of my defense, my endurance has increased, and my attacking speed will be even faster." Oh yeah? The slaughter sword spirit inside Yi Chen's soul ocean let out a sword cry as its slaughter sword intent poured out. Chapter 550. Boom. Yuan Ye's fist had arrived. It was not a big light black fist, but it filled up the whole sky. Even the sunlight had been blocked out as it landed on Yi Chen's head. If this fist landed, even if Yi Chen's defense was twice as powerful, he would still be shocked into a retard. Yi Chen's eyes were cold. His gold sword vibrated at an extremely high frequency as he threw out a sword attack to welcome the incoming attack. The gold resonant radiance sword attack had been trained to 90%, and it could vibrate 2,800 times within a second, which was close to 3,000 times. Once it reached 3,000 times, the gold resonant radiance sword attack would reach the completion level, and its power would definitely be equivalent to the top profound sense martial art. The gold resonant radiance sword attack was already an extremely powerful profound sense sword attack. Normal profound sense sword attacks would be slightly weaker than it. The fist and the sword clashed together, and the sound wave that exploded was extremely horrifying. The whole sky seemed to be filled with this metal exploding sound. Because of the loud sound, no one seemed to be able to hear it clearly. Loud sound. It was just that the sound was too loud, and it was beyond their ability to hear it. In the center of the battle, that light black and gold light ball had devoured the two. The light ball expanded to 100 meters wide, and the air was pushed out like a ball, forming a 1,000 meters wide vacuum ball. One big and one small, the two balls resonated with each other. In the center of the light ball, Yi Chen and Yuan Yi still maintained their attacking posture, their fists and the gold sword clashing together. Boom! The two balls exploded at the same time. The buildings of the Yuan family were shaking, looking like they were about to be destroyed. All of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family worked together to create a massive Zhen Yuan wall, blocking out the blasting wave. So, it would not affect the buildings of the Yuan family at all. As for the sky above, the shocking sky had been dented, turning into a half-sphere. Endless amounts of wind, fire, thunder, and water leaked out, looking colorful and eye-catching. It was like the end of the world had arrived, and the sky was going to bring down his anger. The two had only clashed for a second before separating. But, just like Yuan Yi had said, after performing his special defensive power, his endurance and attacking speed had increased. He had only backed out for dozens of meters before stepping on the air and shooting toward Yi Chen. "Let's see what other tricks you have." Yuan Yi was very clear that the ace attacks could not be performed twice at the same time. This time, Yi Chen had used up his gold resonant radiance attack. If he wanted to perform it again, he would have to wait for the next second, and the next second, his fist would land on Yi Chen's body. Dual sword style. Of course, Yi Chen knew about it. Indeed, the ace-killing attacks would take a certain amount of time to prepare. Normally, the more powerful the killing attack, the longer the preparation time would be. Of course, it would also depend on the warrior's cultivation. If the warrior's cultivation was high enough, then there would not be such a problem, because the higher the cultivation, the more powerful the killing attack would be. Therefore, the preparation time would not be extended. Right now, he was at peak level early C of Soul's Realm, and his gold resonant radiance attack was not weaker than Yuan Ye's killing water fist art. Therefore, the preparation time would be a bit longer than his opponent, which would be his advantage. Therefore, he could not continue to perform his gold resonant radiance attack. But, even without the gold resonant radiance attack, he still had the Sky Thunder Cut and the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut to form his dual sword style. In terms of power, it would only be slightly weaker than the gold resonant radiance attack. Most importantly, the dual sword style consisted of two attacks, and both of them were way weaker than the gold resonant radiance attack. The preparation time would be very short, and he would be able to perform it before Yuan Yi. Shoo! The sword light, one in the front and the other in the back, intersected and attacked toward Yuan Yi. Yuan Yi flicked his eyebrows, then sneered as he threw out his fist heavily. He did not think that throwing out two attacks at the same time would be that powerful. Boom! Once his fist touched the intersecting sword light, Yuan Yi immediately felt the two layers of power coming at him in a superimposed way. Because he was in a hurry to beat Yi Chen, his killing water fist art was not at its peak condition yet. Instead, he was at a disadvantage under this intersecting sword attack. He was blown backward, and the big red flower on his chest had been torn apart as well. How is this possible? Two sword attacks superimposed together? How could it be this powerful? Perhaps it was rare to be able to do two things at the same time in the southern regions, but in the whole True Spirit continent, there were still a lot of people who could do it. Back in the Sky Martial region, Yuan Yi had seen a lot of young warriors who could do two things at the same time. But it was rare for them to do so, because it would not only distract them, but the power of the superimposed attacks would also not be that powerful. Otherwise, everyone would have tried to do it already. He did not expect that Yi Chen's double sword attack would be this powerful. It was almost as powerful as his opponent's gold resonant radiance sword attack. Yi Chen did not have much of an expression on his face. He knew about the power of the double sword attack, and it was not a normal double sword attack. The Sky Thunder Cut and the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut that he had created were originally from the same source. One was the front and the other the back. The combination of the front and back was flawless, and its power was not something that could be compared with just two sword attacks superimposed together. After forcing back Yuan Yi with one sword attack, Yi Chen's body flashed like a sword light, shooting toward his opponent's blind spot. Yuan Yi was shocked as he lifted up his left arm. Chin. The gold sword landed on his left arm. So hard! This sword attack of Yi Chen's was about speed, so its power was not as powerful as his ace attacks. But it contained the slaughter sword intent. Added with the amplification of the gold sword, even Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warrior's protective Jin, Yuan layer, might not be able to handle it. When it landed on Yuan Ye's left arm, it was like using a knife to cut through steel. But of course, he also knew that his opponent's protective Jin, Yuan, had used up a lot of his power, which was one of the reasons why he could not hurt Yuan Yi. Yuan Yi was not wounded at all, but the clothes on his left arm had been completely shredded, turning into dust. How is this possible? Yi is at a disadvantage now? Yuan Jin could not believe his eyes as he stared at Yi Chen. Right then, no matter how stupid he was, he knew that Yi Chen had been hiding his power, and Yuan Hao had only forced him to use part of his power. Yi Chen is so powerful. Murong Wu and Murong Jishui looked at each other. With Yi Chen's power right now, he was not weaker than the weaker Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. But of course, it was just not weaker. It did not mean that he had the power to battle with Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors, since Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors were powerful in all aspects. Compared to Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors, Yi Chen and Yuan Yi still had some weaknesses. It was the gap between the top Spirit Realm Warriors and Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. TSK. He is already this powerful at peak level early C of Soul's Realm. Once he reaches mid C of Soul's Realm, he would be able to enter the Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors, and would not be the weakest one. Being able to enter the Master Level with only mid C of Soul's Realm. This kind of martial geniuses is rare indeed. Yeah, in the 4 regions. Li Shaoling, one of the candidates for the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace in the Eastern region, seems to be close to it. But he is only close. He should not be there yet. There would be 1 or 2 in the Western region and the Northern region. There would not be many in the Sky Martial region either. There was only one region between the Gulan region and the Sky Martial region. Among the people present, a lot of them had been to the Sky Martial region before, so they knew a lot about the young generation. In the sky, Yuan Yi had a bad look on his face. Although that sword attack from Yi Chen did not hurt him, it had still hurt his left arm. But it was not the physical pain that made him angry. It was the mental attack that he could not handle. I am at peak level mid-C of Soul's Realm, and my martial spirit is at rank 4. Plus, I have the special ability to strengthen my defense. I am powerful in all aspects. Why am I losing? Whether Yuan Yi wanted to admit it or not, it was a fact that he was losing. Shoo! Using the momentum of his left arm being cut down, Yuan Yi backed out quickly. As he did, he lifted up his right hand, and a massive dark gold light ball appeared. Demon Gold Flash! Yi Chen's pupils shrank. Without even thinking, he knew that Yuan Ye's Demon Gold Flash would be even more powerful than Yuan Hao's attack. It would be unbelievably powerful, and it would be hard for him to dodge it. I have to release all of my slaughter sword intent now. Before Yuan Yi performed his special ability, Yi Chen had been using the destruction sword intent, and only then did he use the slaughter sword intent. Its power was around rank 5 normal sword intent. Because of his powerful soul power, the sword intent did not leak out at all. Therefore, no one knew that his slaughter sword spirit had already reached such a realm. If it continued to increase, it would be at peak level rank 5. No matter how good his control was, he would not be able to hide it anymore. Boom! Yuan Yi pushed out his Zhenyuan, and the dark gold light ball shot out. It turned into a beam of dark gold light, attacking toward Yi Chen at an extreme speed. Its speed was even faster than Yuan Hao's demon gold flash. The dark gold light beam flashed once before disappearing. That flash of light made the sun in the sky lose its color, turning it into a black and white world. After releasing the demon gold flash, a creepy look flashed through Yuan Ye's face. His special ability was defense strengthening, and his body was extremely powerful. How could he not have trained it before? Compared to Yuan Hao, he was more talented, so his achievement in training it would be much higher as well. If it were not for the fact that he was forced to do so, he would not use it at all. For him, the more ace cards he had, the better it would be. Plus, he thought that he would be able to beat Yi Chen without using it. With the demon gold flash in my hands, even normal master level Sea of Souls realm warriors would not be able to handle it. They would have to avoid it for a while. To be defeated by this attack, it would be your honor. Next, I will humiliate you and destroy your dignity. Yuan Yi thought to himself coldly. Down below, the Murong Jishui brothers, Wang Shi, and Yan Kuei could feel their hearts racing as they looked at Yi Chen nervously. Yao Yifeng and Yuan Jin sneered, as if they could already see Yi Chen losing. Who? Seeing that dark gold light beam approaching, Yi Chen exploded. His long black hair danced in the air as that horrifying slaughter sword intent shot out into the sky. This sword intent had already gone beyond his control, turning the whole place into a bleak, silent world. The sky had a dark red color, which was a sign of great danger and a massacre. Once it appeared, everything in the world would fall into a massacre, and Yi Chen was the embodiment of it. Because of the fact that he could not control the sword intent completely, it was immediately sensed by everyone present. Everyone opened their eyes wide, shocked beyond words. Impossible! This is the King Warrior Sword Intent. Chapter 551. The King-level sword intent was the sword intent of a life and death realm warrior, which was a rank 5 sword intent. For a Sea of Souls realm warrior to form a rank 5 sword spirit and use a rank 5 sword intent, it would only be slightly easier than reaching the life and death realm from the Sea of Souls realm. It was not hard to imagine how much of a commotion it would cause. It's indeed a king sword intent, but it shouldn't be a king sword spirit. This king sword intent contains the slaughter attribute, which can increase the power of the sword intent. But even so, it's still extremely terrifying. His slaughter sword spirit is at least a level 4 slaughter sword spirit. Before, some of the master level Sea of Souls realm warriors were only there to watch the show. But now, all of them had their eyes wide open, their faces full of disbelief. The dark gold light ray was extremely fast. While everyone was thinking about it, it had already arrived in front of Yi Chen. It looked like it could pierce through everything and destroy everything in its path. As for Yi Chen, he had started to accumulate the aura for his gold resonant radiance attack the moment he used all of his slaughter sword intent. Right then, it was done. He held the gold sword with both of his hands and threw out a powerful attack. His expression was calm, but there was still a hint of killing in it. It was as if he was treating it as a normal thing, and he was not affected at all. Swoosh! That sword attack looked normal, containing a bit of gold light. But, once the dark gold light ray touched it, a part of it was destroyed. Once the sword tip landed, the powerful sword power spread out through the sword body, shattering the dark gold light ray completely. It turned into two beams of light, shooting toward both sides of Yi Chen. It was as if he was a rock, and the dark gold light ray was the flowing water. When the flowing water touched the rock, it would naturally be separated. However, although the rock did not have any attacking power, Yi Chen did. After his sword had cut open the dark gold light ray, it attacked toward Yuan Yi at a shocking speed. Not good. Yuan Yi had already sensed the danger the moment Yi Chen revealed his ace attack. He was very clear about how powerful the king-level sword intent was, not to mention the fact that Yi Chen was not weak himself. Even if he were a normal Sea of Souls realm warrior, he would not be able to be underestimated. Who? That light black protective Zhen Yuan layer shone with a bright green light. That light looked like it was about to condense into a halo. It added onto Yuan Ye's protective Zhen Yuan layer, making it look like it had solidified. With the combination of the two, Yuan Ye's body was impenetrable. Creak! That almost completely golden sword light landed on Yuan Ye's protective Zhen Yuan layer, which suddenly cracked like a piece of tempered glass. With that crack as the center, the cracks started to spread out in all directions, and eventually, a huge dent was formed in the middle. The sword light had a lot of hidden power as it kept attacking, trying to break through the protective layer of Zhen Yuan and hit Yuan Yi inside. Yuan Yi pushed up his Zhen Yuan as well, trying his best to defend. Soon, the sword light disappeared, and Yuan Yi was unharmed. What? Didn't hurt him? Yi Chen was a bit surprised. He had already used all of his power for that sword attack. Even the protective Zhen Yuan of a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior could be cut open easily. No matter how powerful Yuan Ye's defense was, it would not be that much more powerful than a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior. No. That dark green light. It seems to be the light of a great weapon. Yi Chen squeezed his eyes and released his soul power. Through Yuan Ye's clothes, Yi Chen could see a lot of weapons. There were dark green chest armor, arm guards, wrist guards, fist gloves, leg guards, and even waist guards. There were 6 types of weapons in total. Among them, the fist gloves were the attacking ones, while the rest were all defensive ones. All 6 of them had the same color, and the vibration they gave off was the same as well. It seemed like they were originally a set. It was a complete set. A set of prized artifacts, a perfect set of prized artifacts. Yi Chen finally understood why Yuan Yi was able to block out that sword attack. The reason was none other than the fact that he was wearing a full set of weapons. Normally, a full set of weapons would be able to fit all of the weapons on the body. A lot of people would be able to put together a full set of weapons, but it would only be a bit more powerful than the most powerful weapon on the body. Therefore, even if one had a full set of weapons, the increase in attack and defense would still be limited. It would only be a bit more powerful than the most powerful weapon on the body. Meanwhile, the set of items that Yuan Yi had on him was a complete set of items. Their elements matched perfectly, and they all had a deep connection with each other. Wearing all of them on him would be able to activate all of the power of the set of items, allowing all of them to combine perfectly together. Not only was Yi Chen surprised, everyone down below was shocked as well. They could tell that Yi Chen's sword attack was extremely powerful, and Yuan Yi being able to block it out was completely out of their expectation. Yi, have you been to the Treasure Holy Tower and gotten a full set of top-rank weapons? Yuan Jin was very worried before, but right now all of that was gone, and a joyful expression flashed through his face. After canceling out that sword light from Yi Chen, Yuan Yi laughed out loud. Yi Chen, you are indeed powerful, forcing me to use my weapons as an advantage. But you would not have guessed that I have been to the Sky Martial region and gotten a full set of water element weapons from the Treasure Holy Tower. Each one of them is just a normal top-rank weapon, but when combined together, the defensive effect is even more powerful than a semi-extreme rank weapon. Plus, the attacking power has been increased drastically as well, allowing me to reach master level. A full set of water element top-rank weapons. Treasure Holy Tower. Everyone came to a sudden realization and were immediately overwhelmed with shock. A full set of top-rank weapons would be extremely valuable, and its value would be even more powerful than a semi-extreme rank weapon. And the treasure Holy Tower. They all knew about this place. It was a mysterious palace that had existed for countless years. Different from the normal forbidden places, the tower was not hidden in the surreal space. Instead, it was located at a specific location, and anyone could enter at any time. However, there was a huge restriction on the tower. Only Sea of Souls realm warriors could enter, and anyone below the Sea of Souls realm would be killed the second they entered. Even those above the Sea of Souls realm would not be able to enter. Although life and death realm warriors were powerful, no one had ever heard of anyone being able to break through the restriction of the tower and enter. Besides that, people above 40 years old would not be able to enter either, since this tower had the ability to tell one's age. If one was older than that, he or she would be killed as well. As for what was inside the treasure Holy Tower, just like its name suggested, it was a holy tower that gathered all the weapons. There were countless of them inside, and it was said that it had something to do with the Treasure River Island in the Star Regional Lake. The two seemed to come from the same source. However, although the Treasure River Island was very attractive, compared to the Treasure Holy Tower, it was like a cottage. The Treasure Holy Tower was one of the reasons why the Sky Martial region was the holy place for all the martial geniuses. With the Treasure Holy Tower, a lot of martial geniuses would go to the Sky Martial region when they reached the Sea of Souls realm. This Yuan Yi had entered the Treasure Holy Tower before, and he managed to bring out a set of top-rank water element weapons. He is so lucky. Unfortunately, I am already more than 40 years old. Otherwise, I would also go in and try my luck. With my master-level Sea of Souls realm power, the chance of me surviving would be huge. Without the age restriction, there would be no chance for us to get in. Back in the medieval era, all the weapons inside would have been cleaned out already, since there would not be an endless amount of weapons inside. That is true. Some of the master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors started to discuss excitedly. Oh no! Yuan Yi actually has a set of top-rank weapons that fit perfectly with each other. Murong Jishui did not look too good. Perhaps Yi Chun still has some other hidden cards, Murong Wu said uncertainly. Murong Jishui said bitterly. He has even revealed his king-level sword intent. What other hidden cards could he have? I can only hope that this Yuan Ye's attacking power would not increase that much. Yi Chun, have a taste of this fist attack of mine. While everyone was discussing, Yuan Yi threw out a killing water fist attack toward Yi Chun. As he threw out that fist attack, an endless dark green light flowed out of his body and was infused into his fist aura. All of a sudden, the fist power increased drastically. Yi Chen did not back out at all as he welcomed it with his gold sword. Boom! The light ball exploded, and the two backed out at the same time. It is only slightly weaker than my attack, and it has the whole set of weapons to cancel it out. Yi Chen frowned. Yuan Ye's attacking power was actually slightly weaker than his, but the latter had a whole set of great items, which would be more than twice as powerful as Yi Chen's. Therefore, Yi Chen's attacks would not be able to put him at a disadvantage at all. Haha, I hope you will not get hit by me. His attacking power was catching up with Yi Chen's, and his defense was way more powerful than Yi Chen's. Yuan Yi was not worried at all. Even if Yi Chen were to attack him, he would not be afraid. As long as he managed to land an attack on Yi Chen, he would lose immediately. It meant that he was born to be unbeatable. Boom, 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 boom. The two continued to exchange attacks, their chi power spreading out everywhere. Murong Jishui and Murong Wu both looked a bit gloomy. Yuan Ye's attacking power had also increased. Although it was not as big as his defense, his attacking power was already very powerful. Now that it had been increased, it would be even more horrifying. Even Yi Chen could not do anything to him. Boom! In the sky, the two separated again. Yi Chen, you will not be able to beat me. Just leave the Yuan family quietly. Otherwise, I will not let you have any face left. Yuan Yi was secretly shocked at Yi Chen's battling technique. During this time, they had exchanged hundreds of attacks, but he had not managed to land a single hit on Yi Chen. Instead, he had been hit by Yi Chen a couple of times. If it were not for his whole set of weapons, even if he was not wounded badly, he would not feel good at all. Plus, activating a whole set of weapons would cost a lot of Zhen Yuan. Although his cultivation was higher than Yi Chen's, he might not be able to last until the end. Yi Chen said coldly, "Is this all you have? What? Are you still thinking about it?" Yuan Yi sneered. "Whether or not I am thinking about it, we will know soon enough." Actually, in order to beat Yuan Yi, Yi Chen had two options. One was to take out his semi-extreme rank great sword, the Thunder Disaster Sword. With it, even if his opponent had a whole set of weapons, he would not be able to handle it. The second option was to perform his void-shattering finger art, which was extremely powerful in breaking through Zhen Yuan. It would also be able to break through his opponent's defense. But after thinking about it, he decided that he could not expose his Thunder Disaster Sword. Once he used it, he did not know how many people would want to get their hands on it. It would be troublesome. Although using his void-shattering finger art would expose his most powerful ace attack, it would not cause too much trouble. At most, people would know about it. With that thought in mind, Yi Chen put his gold sword back into its scabbard. He reached out his right index finger and poured his Zhen Yuan into it. Woo! That finger of his was extremely long. As the Zhen Yuan poured in, the edge of his finger started to have a space pattern. It seemed like even the surreal space could not handle the power of this finger. What kind of finger art is this? Yuan Yi squinted his eyes slightly. His instinct told him that this finger was very dangerous and should not be underestimated. But, after thinking about it for a while, he sneered inwardly. If a whole set of weapons were so easy to break, why would he risk his life to enter the tower? Come on. Watch me shatter your belief. Chapter 552. With a low growl, Yuan Ye's long hair shot up into the sky. The protective Zhen Yuan in front of him started to crystallize, combining the light black and the dark green together perfectly. At the same time, the glove on his right hand lit up with a dark green light pattern. As the pattern lit up, more dark green light poured out of his body and gathered on the glove, ready to be unleashed at any second. After everything was done, Yuan Yi was full of confidence and high spirits. Hundreds of meters in front of him, Yi Chen, whose pupils shone with a silver light, locked onto Yuan Yi. In his eyes, Yuan Yi was no longer Yuan Yi. He was just a coordinate, a target. All he needed to do was to hit the target with one finger attack. It was that simple. In everyone's eyes, Yi Chen's body seemed to have enlarged. It was not a physical change, but a mental change. The mental pressure that Yi Chen performed with his void-shattering finger had made them feel like the whole world was filled with his shadow. The sky started to shake as Yi Chen pointed out his finger. No one could describe how horrifying this finger attack was. Once it was pointed out, the space seemed to have turned into nothingness. Even the space pattern had been sucked in. Once it was pointed out, a huge blue finger appeared in front of Yuan Yi all of a sudden, pressing onto his protective Zhen Yuan. So fast. It is even faster than my demon gold flash. Yuan Yi did not even have the time to throw out a punch, so the only thing he could do was to block out with his arms. Pop! With Yuan Yi as the center, a pattern spread out in all directions. At the same time, the protective Zhen Yuan in front of his body started to shatter, like a piece of clay that had been pressed by a finger. In the next second, the finger had sunk in. That dark green light was like a dying flame under the attack of the blue finger, unable to fight back at all. Without the protection of the dark green light, there was no way Yuan Ye's basic protective Zhen Yuan could block out the power of the void-shattering finger attack. It was instantly shattered, and Feng Ye's right arm went numb without any feeling. His chest felt like it had been struck by lightning, causing him to puke out a huge mouthful of blood. With one attack of the void-shattering finger, Yuan Ye's defense had been broken through without any doubt. The powerful finger force caused everyone to suck in a breath of cold air. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The protective Zhen Yuan has been strengthened by the defense and the whole set of artifacts. It has already surpassed ordinary Sea of Soul Master level warriors. How could he break through it with one strike? What the hell is the problem? What kind of finger art is this? Yuan Yi was panicking. Before this, he had never thought that he would lose. There had been so many twists and turns in the battle, but every time, he had an ace up his sleeve. Right now, his ace had been used up, but his opponent still had more. The continuous attacks had made his mental state very weak, and he was close to losing his mind. Haha, he really has a trump card. Murong Wu mumbled unconsciously. Murong Jishui was completely stunned. What kind of young warrior was this? Every time his opponent was about to make a comeback, he would beat him down. If it were him, he would not feel good either, not to mention Yuan Yi, who had always been cruel. Ranked first in the Hidden Dragon rank at the age of 18, his name spread across the entire southern region at the age of 21, becoming one of the top 4 young warriors. At the age of 23, he had dominated the whole southern region's young generation. At the age of 24, he had beaten Yuan Yi, who was 1 generation older than him. Is this his hidden power? Murong Jishui had finally understood why this young man had been able to show more and more power since he had risen to the top. It was not only because of his great talent, but also because he knew how to be patient. He would not reveal his ace cards until the critical moment, and he would never be satisfied. No one knew if he still had more ace cards or not. Scary. The young warriors who are living in the same era as him should be worried now. Right then, Murong Jishui had been completely convinced by Yi Chen. It had nothing to do with power or status, but Yi Chen's horrifying mentality and potential. He had a feeling that even if he went up there himself, he might not be able to do anything to Yi Chen. This was an unpredictable young man, like a huge dragon hiding in the abyss. Anyone who dared to challenge him would be torn apart by his claws. Our brother disciple Yi is not just a normal kind of horrifying. Wang Shi and Yan Kuei were both spirit realm experts. The first time they met Yi Chen, he was only a weak astral reaching realm warrior. The second time they met him, his cultivation base was already not that much lower than theirs, and his power was even more powerful than theirs. For no reason at all, the two felt very lucky. They were lucky that they had always treated Yi Chen as their brother disciple, and did not have any other thoughts. Although they did not have any thoughts, it did not mean that they would be indifferent to everything. As the saying goes, a big tree is a good shade. Yi Chen, this little sapling, had already grown up. It was not like they did not get anything in return for befriending Yi Chen. Of course, they did not think of anything in the first place. Yao Yifeng is out of luck. Wang Shi glanced at Yao Yifeng sympathetically. Speaking of which, as the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yao Yifeng should have been on good terms with Yi Chen. Unfortunately, for his own benefit, he did not care that Yi Chen was a martial genius that the Dragon King valued. He had tried to make things difficult for him, which had completely pissed him off. It would not take him long to regret his decision. You can do whatever you want, but you can't do anything about it. Yan Kuei sneered. Without noticing Wang Shi and Yan Kuei's weird expressions, Yao Yifeng was very annoyed right now. In fact, ever since Yi Chen beat Yuan Hao, he had been feeling uncomfortable. The more powerful Yi Chen was, the more he hated him. It was also because of fear, the fear that Yi Chen would surpass him and take revenge on him. Right now, Yi Chen had beaten Yuan Yi, showing power that was not weaker than normal Sea of Souls realm master level warriors. His annoyance had reached its peak, and killing intent had started to form. Yi Chun, I admit that I was a bit short-sighted. But, if you still want to hate me, then don't blame me. The chance of survival is in your hands. Yao Yifeng had a bad look on his face as his eyes flickered. Little Yi was injured? Yuan Jin's mood was just like the situation of the battle. It had been full of twists and turns, and his attitude of being in control of everything had disappeared completely. All that was left was anxiety and anger. If I had known this earlier, I would have stopped him at all costs. Yuan Jin was very regretful. He regretted that he did not pay enough attention to Yi Chun. If he knew that Yi Chun was about to come to the Gulan region and the Yuan family, he would have used all of his resources to stop him. Then, the situation would not have turned out like this. It was all because he had underestimated Yi Chun's power. Damn it! He cannot lose. Tightening his fists, a sharp light shot out of Yuan Jin's eyes. What? Puking out another mouthful of blood, Yuan Ye's face was extremely pale. I have not lost yet. This finger art of yours must have consumed a lot of Zhen Yuan. Let's see who can last until the end. After performing his special power, Yuan Ye's body was extremely powerful. The wound that the void-shattering finger art had brought to him would not affect his battling power too much. Plus, at this point, he would not allow himself to fail, since it would be a huge blow to him. Not long ago, he had said that he had 120% chance of winning, and that he would be able to kill Yi Chun like a dog. But now that the situation had turned around, how could he let it go? He could tell that the void-shattering finger art would consume a lot of Zhen Yuan. As long as he could last a couple of times, he would be able to beat Yi Chun completely and step on him. That finger attack was just a test. If you choose to continue, then you will have to face a bigger consequence. Yi Chun had thought it through very clearly. Killing Yuan Yi right here would be very troublesome. Therefore, he did not perform his void-shattering finger art to its limit, since he was afraid that he might accidentally cripple or kill Yuan Yi. So, he decided to test his opponent's bottom line first. Without wasting time, Yi Chun pointed out his index finger and performed another void-shattering finger art. Pop! The blue finger broke through the space and was like a deadly finger, easily landing on Yuan Ye's newly formed protective Zhen Yuan. The second the blue finger touched his protective Zhen Yuan, a deep finger mark appeared on that crystallized layer. The power of this void-shattering finger art was even more powerful than before. The protective Zhen Yuan that Yuan Yi had spent a lot of effort to build up had been shattered, and a trace of hatred appeared in his eyes. He hated it so much. Losing to Yi Chun meant that he had completely lost the battle for the woman. If this news got out, how would the others think of him? This kind of blow was driving him crazy. Lose now. Yi Chun did not use his void-shattering finger art. If he used it for the third time, Yuan Yi would die for sure. So, he flashed his body and took out his gold sword, stabbing out. Yi Chun, give our Yuan family some face. Pretend that you have lost the battle. After this, our Yuan family will reward you handsomely. I believe you would not want to turn against our Yuan family completely. Right at the second when Yi Chun's sword was about to pierce into Yuan Ye's body, Yuan Jin passed on his Zhen Yuan to Yi Chun. His tone was a bit hurried, but there was also a hint of threat in it. Yi Chun sneered. Now that things had come to this, she still wanted to threaten him? Pushing out his Zhen Yuan, Yi Chun stabbed his sword into Yuan Ye's chest. The sword light went through and shot out from his back, covering the whole area in gold. Down below, Morong Jishui took a deep breath. It was finally over. Bastard! Yuan Jin's eyes were red. At this critical moment, he had already let go of his pride and promised to reward his opponent. But the latter did not give any face to the Yuan family at all. Instead, he had stabbed through Yuan Ye's body, which would at least make him bedridden for a couple of months. Since he does not want to give me face, why should I? Shoo! Yuan Jin shot up into the sky, approaching Yi Chun at an unimaginable speed. Yi Chun, it was only a battle, but you are already so cruel. I will teach you a lesson for the Dragon God Heaven Palace. Piss off now. Old bastard Yuan, you are so shameless. Murong Jishui's eyebrows flicked as an extreme anger flashed through his eyes. The second Yuan Jin moved, he had already chased after him, leaving behind layers of water shadow behind him. How dare you? Go back. The powerful warriors of the Yuan family jumped out, blocking the furious Murong Jishui. The leading warrior was a master level C of Soul's Realm warrior. He exchanged an attack with Murong Jishui and managed to stop him from saving Yi Chen. Damn! How dare you bully my brother disciple Yi? Wang Shi and Yan Kuei could not stay calm anymore. The two of them moved out together, attacking toward the powerful warriors of the Yuan family. All of a sudden, the plaza of the Yuan family turned into a mess. Chapter 553. As an experienced Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior, Yuan Jin's explosiveness was extremely horrifying. While he was flying, a purple gold light appeared on his body. It was like a dragon or a snake, almost materialized. It carried Yuan Jin's body and shot out, arriving not far away from Yi Chen within a blink of an eye. You brat! Yuan Jin lifted up his palm and attacked toward Yi Chen. Although it was just a normal low-rank profound sense martial art, it was extremely powerful when it landed on Yuan Jin's hand. As he pushed out his palm power, a massive purple gold light palm expanded rapidly, covering the space where Yi Chen were. One finger shattering void. Yi Chen's pupil shrank. Yuan Jin's palm attack was not weaker than the Iron Palm Master who had appeared on the Treasure River Island. The title of the Iron Palm Master contained the word palm, so naturally, his palm art was the most powerful one. But Yuan Jin's palm art was not weaker than his, which meant that his overall power might be even more powerful than the Iron Palm Master. Without thinking too much, Yi Chen endured the mountain-shattering palm pressure and stabbed out with his right index finger. Boom! The purple gold light palm and the blue finger clashed together. The two seemed to be mortal enemies as they clashed against each other crazily, bringing up layers after layers of blasting waves. The blasting waves were all different in color. It was purple gold for a second, then blue, then purple and blue. It blew Yuan Yi, who was already wounded badly, a couple of miles away. He puked out a mouthful of blood and fainted right after Yuan Hao. Because Yuan Jin was too angry, he had forgotten about Yuan Yi, which made him even more wounded. At the same time, he hated Yi Chen to the core. His palm power suddenly increased by 30%. The purple gold light palm pushed forward aggressively, shattering the blue finger. Sword light flying spell. Yi Chen was already prepared for it. He took back the Zhen Yuan outside of his body, and waves of sword light shone. With a flash, he flew out 10 miles within a second. Because the power of the purple gold light palm had been cancelled out by the blue finger, its speed had been drastically reduced. It did not manage to catch up with Yi Chen, but did manage to destroy a lot of buildings in the Yuan family. Little brat, do you really think you are a Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior? Yuan Jin's eyes were cold as he locked onto Yi Chen, who was 10 miles away from him. He flicked his fingers, shooting out beams of purple gold light. These purple gold light beams contained the profound of gold, and their penetrative power was unparalleled. Countless purple gold light beams interweaved with each other, causing space ripples to spread out like a giant net. Anyone who fell into the net would be greatly affected, like a flying insect caught in a net. Seeing the huge net that was formed by the purple gold light, Yi Chen maintained his flying back while using his Lotus Heart sword chi to defend against it. All of a sudden, one side was the purple gold net, while the other side was the blue one. The two huge nets clashed together. Pitter-patter! Countless beautiful fireworks bloomed, and the sky seemed to be ignited. Seeing this, Yuan Jin's face darkened. Although he was an experienced Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior, it would still be impossible for him to kill Yi Chen with only one attack. Yi Chen's power was not that important, but that kind of control he had over the battle had shocked even him, not to mention that they were still 10 miles away from each other. Huh. I would like to see how you are going to dodge this time. Yuan Jin was ready to use his mid-rank profound sense martial arts. Different from Yuan Yi, Yuan Jin's mid-rank profound sense martial arts had already reached 80% completion, and was not that far away from completion. With his late Sea of Soul's realm cultivation, its power could only be described as horrifying. Taking a deep breath, Yuan Jin's face was covered in purple gold qi. Purple gold represented nobility, but when it appeared on Yuan Jin's face, it added an evil aura. He put his tongue on top of his mouth, and the Zhen Yuan inside his body started to circulate at twice the normal speed. Eventually, it all poured into his right arm, following the meridians of his right arm and reaching the center of his fist. As waves of Zhen Yuan poured in and compressed, Yuan Jin's fist turned into a purple gold color, looking like it was made of pure purple gold, full of horrifying power. Flowing gold godly fist. Yelling, Yuan Jin threw out a punch toward Yi Chen, who was 10 miles away. Boom! The air was blown up all of a sudden, and the space pattern spread out. That purple gold fist power turned into a tornado, shooting out at an extreme speed. Along the way, the fist power started to scatter, turning into countless golden blades that looked like crescent moon. The golden blades were arranged in an orderly manner, forming into a dozens of meters wide hemisphere. Yi Chen frowned. He could tell that each of those golden blades had the power of a low-rank profound sense martial art. With this many of them shooting at him, even a master-level Sea of Soul's realm warrior would have to dodge out of the way. Yi Chen was barely a master-level Sea of Soul's realm warrior, so he naturally would not be able to handle it. Yuan Jin, you are indeed shameless. A human figure suddenly appeared right in front of Yi Chen. It was indeed Murong Jishui. The Yuan family warrior who tried to stop him was only a normal master-level Sea of Soul's realm warrior. Under Murong Jishui's full power attack, he was blown away within 3 attacks. Besides master-level Sea of Soul's realm warriors, who else could stop him? Boom! 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 The golden blades were blocked out by a swirl barrier. Waiting until the last golden blade bounced out, the swirl barrier suddenly disappeared, and Murong Jishui's face looked a bit pale. Time was running out, so Murong Jishui could only perform a low-rank defensive profound sense martial art. Facing Yuan Jin's mid-rank profound sense martial art, he was still at a disadvantage. But of course, his opponent was still worried about Murong Jishui, so he did not dare to kill him. Otherwise, even Murong Jishui would not be able to handle it. Murong Jishui. Yuan Jin did not look friendly at all. Murong Jishui was still not scared. Yuan Jin, what you have done today will bring a lot of harm to the Yuan family. I hope you know it yourself. This brat had stopped the wedding so many times and wounded 2 of my sons. Why can't I teach him a lesson? But you, how dare you fight against our Yuan family? The demi-demon family does not belong to your Yuan family. Your Yuan family does not have the right to do anything to our Murong family. No matter what you say, it will be useless. This time, I will lock you up in the Yuan family. If you dare to go against me, I will kill you without mercy. Yuan Jin did not dare to kill Yi Chen, but it did not mean that he would not dare to kill Murong Jishui. Killing Murong Jishui would be an internal matter of the demi-demon family, and the Dragon God's celestial palace would not be able to interfere. Yi Chen flew right next to Murong Jishui, looking straight at Yuan Jin as he said coldly, Yuan Jin, you were the one who agreed for me to battle with your sons. Am I right? So what? You suddenly attacked me? What is the meaning of this? Do you really think that I am easy to bully? Or should I say, I will not hold you responsible for this? Battling with each other. I did not say anything about wounding the opponent. Don't you think what you have done is cruel? Yuan Jin's words were flawless, like an old fox who was furious but still calm. Yi Chen sneered. Sorry, I admit that this was a battle, but not a battle. Since it is a battle, injuries are inevitable. I think it is your Yuan family who cannot afford to lose. Brat Yi, although you are a martial genius favored by the Dragon King, as long as you do not become a life and death realm warrior, you better not be too arrogant. Yuan Jin stared at Yi Chen with an evil look, his eyes containing a powerful mental pressure. Yi Chen ignored the threat. Arrogant? It seems like only your Yuan family is worthy of this title. You three, father and son, have you never felt that what you have done is arrogant? Presumptuous. Right now, what Yuan Jin hated the most was the fact that the Dragon King favored Yi Chen the most, which led to his hatred toward the Dragon God's Celestial Palace. Without the Dragon King and the Dragon God's Celestial Palace, killing Yi Chen would be like killing a dog to him. There would be no need for him to spend so much effort to stop them. Martial geniuses die easily. You better be careful. After saying that with a low voice, Yuan Jin flew down toward the plaza. Yi Chen and Murong Jishui exchanged a look before landing down as well. Seeing that Yi Chen had returned, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei both stopped what they were doing. Around them, there were a couple of people who were staring at the two angrily, all of whom were slightly wounded. Brother Yi, are you all right? Wang Shi asked. Yi Chen shook his head. Thank you, brother and sister, for your help. Hee, we are brother disciples after all. Wang Shi laughed. Right next to him, Yan Kuei spat on the ground. Pooh! This old dog Yuan is so shameless. His son could not beat you, so he decided to do it himself. Yi Chen looked at Murong Qingqing with a serious look, then said to Yuan Jin, do you still remember the promise we made before? Right now, let go of Murong Qingqing's secret spell. Of course I remember. With so many people here, no matter how shameless Yuan Jin was, he would not go back on his word. Otherwise, within a couple of days, his shameless behavior would be spread all over the Gulan region and even the other regions. Glancing at Yuan Yi, who was still unconscious, Yuan Jin walked behind Murong Qingqing. He pressed his palm in the air, and countless gold light balls shot into her body. Making a slight noise, Murong Qingqing regained her consciousness. Lifting up the red silk cloth, Murong Qingqing saw Murong Jishui and Yi Chen. A joyful expression flashed through her face. Father, Yi Chen. Murong Jishui said hurriedly, Qingqing, they did not do anything to you, did they? Murong Qingqing shook her head. Oh right, where is your mother? Murong Qingqing frowned and said, before my Zhen Yuan and consciousness were sealed, my mother was invited by a woman from the Yuan family. A woman. Murong Jishui seemed to have thought of something. Moving her eyes away from her father, Murong Qingqing looked at Yi Chen. Although her movement and speech had been sealed, she could still hear and feel everything that Yi Chen had done. So, when Yuan Jin attacked Yi Chen, she was very worried, but luckily, nothing happened. Yi Chen smiled at Murong Qingqing. Just when he was about to say something, a woman's voice was heard, very crisp. Jishui. From the corner of a building not too far away, two extremely beautiful women walked over together. The one on the left was wearing a dark green long dress, looking very elegant. She was about 38 or 39 years old, and the one on the right was wearing a light yellow dress. Her appearance was no less beautiful than the former, but it was indeed her who had spoken. Seeing the latter, Murong Jishui froze. Yan Shiner. He would never forget this woman. This woman used to be the woman he loved the most, and he would occasionally see her in his dreams. Her appearance had changed a little, and her voice had become a lot smoother as well. But he could still recognize her at first glance. Taking a deep breath, Murong Jishui felt very complicated. In front of him, a cold sneer appeared on Yuan Jin's face. Chapter 554. So, this is the first girlfriend that Uncle Murong had mentioned? Yi Chen's eyes landed on the two girls. It was easy for him to tell who Murong Qingqing's mother was, since they were mother and daughter after all. Both their looks and temperament were quite similar, which was something that could not be hidden. After knowing who Morong Qingqing's mother was, the identity of the other girl would be obvious as well. Su Ruhui saw Morong Jishui's expression and made a face. But she did not say anything. She stood together with Morong Qingqing and started to talk in a low voice. It has been so many years. How have you been? For the past 30 years, Morong Jishui had been wanting to say this. Today, he finally had the chance to say it. However, he did not know why he did not want to say it the first time he saw the girl. Saying it out loud was just a subconscious action. The girl named Yan Shiner stayed silent for a while before nodding slightly. A bitter smile appeared on Morong Jishui's face. All right, as long as I am doing well. I have no regrets anymore. After separating from you, I was in so much pain until Ruhui appeared in front of me. Hearing Morong Jishui mention her name, Su Ruhui was a bit happy. She pretended that she did not hear anything and continued to talk with Morong Qingqing. Hearing him, Yan Shiner felt a bit uneasy for a second. It was this 1 second of uneasiness that had caught Yi Chen's attention. He could see the dissatisfaction, jealousy, and anger in her eyes, which did not match her beautiful appearance at all. Glancing at Morong Jishui, Yi Chen thought to himself, "Uncle, I am afraid that your first girlfriend has changed. Sister-in-law, this is your future niece-in-law. Her name is Morong Qingqing." Right then, Yuan Jin suddenly spoke. The reason why he called Yan Shiner his sister-in-law was because she had married his second brother, Yuan Xiong. Yuan Xiong was not in the Yuan family right now, as he had gone out for some business. He would only be back in 2 to 3 months. Originally, that would be the day of Yuan Ye's wedding, but it had been brought forward by 3 months. Yan Shiner moved her eyes away from Morong Jishui and landed on Morong Qingqing, who was standing next to Su Ruhui. A surprised expression flashed through her face, since it was the first time she had seen Morong Qingqing. She had to admit that this girl's appearance and temperament were extremely rare. There should be people who were as beautiful as her, but she had never seen or heard of anyone who was more beautiful than her. Xianhou might be able to surpass her, but Xianhou was still a life and death realm warrior after all. This was Shi Sui and his daughter. Yan Shiner squeezed her lips, then laughed and said, "Brother, Yi is quite lucky to have such a beautiful fiancée. Together with him, they would be a perfect match. As his second aunt, I am happy for him as well. All right, why don't we continue with the wedding?" Yuan Jin glanced at Morong Jishui. Someone did not agree, so I could not do anything about it. Yi and Hao were wounded as well, and they are still unconscious. Who dares to wound Yi and Hao? Yan Shiner flicked her eyebrows. Indeed, it is me. Yi Chen did not need to wait for her to say it out, so he just admitted it himself. Yan Shiner glanced at Yi Chen. Do you know that the members of the demi-demon family will not marry outsiders? So, it is impossible for you and her to be together. If you just let it go, it would be good for both sides. Why do you have to break up a couple? Whether they are a couple or not, you should be clear about it. If they are a couple, then no one would be able to break them up. If they are not a couple, then there is no need to break them up, since they were separated in the first place. I was only doing what I was supposed to do. The one who should let it go should be the Yuan family. Yan Shiner said lightly, "No one is meant to be together. There has to be a process of getting to know each other. Both of them have the perfect demi-demon bloodline, so they will be attracted to each other in the future. But that is if you do not come and ruin it." Yi Chen could not help but laugh. This woman was a bit unreasonable. Based on what you have said, a man and a woman would be a couple. On the other hand, breaking up a couple and putting one of them together with another person with a different surname would also make them a couple. So, what you have said is basically nothing. You are quite eloquent. But you seem to have forgotten that they had already set the wedding date 2 years ago, and you are an outsider. Yi Chen glanced at Morong Jishui. This wedding date was forced by the Yuan family. You should know about it. So, I will not explain it to you. Yan Shiner sucked in a deep breath. She had underestimated Yi Chen a bit. This young man was not as simple as he looked. His tone was very calm, but it was sharp like a sword qi. Looking over at Morong Jishui, Yan Shiner frowned. Are you still angry about what happened back then? Actually, it is all in the past now. No matter what, it will not go back. If you do not want your daughter to marry into the Yuan family because of this, then you do not have to. Morong Jishui looked a bit surprised, as if he could not believe that these words were coming out of Yan Shiner's mouth. Somehow, he seemed to have understood something, so he said, I would not joke about my daughter's happiness. If my daughter and the Yuan family people were in love, then I would not say anything and agree right away. But, if it was forced, then I, as her father, would definitely not just stand there and watch it. You really think so? Yan Shiner did not seem to believe him. Morong Jishui said with a clear look, of course. About what happened back then, do you still hate me? Of course I do, but that kind of feeling has faded away a long time ago. Just like you said, it is all in the past now. No matter what, it will not go back. Plus, Ruhui and I are living a good life. Losing her would be the most painful thing for me. Therefore, what happened back then has nothing to do with this. Su Ruhui did not open her mouth the whole time. When the man was talking, the woman would just stand there and watch. Even if the love rival was right in front of her, she would still have to endure it. Hearing Morong Jishui's last sentence, her face lit up. The knot in her heart seemed to have disappeared all of a sudden, and her whole body felt relaxed. All these years, she had always known that there was someone else in Morong Jishui's heart. She had been troubled and frustrated before. This time, she had gone to the Yuan family with her daughter just to see that woman. When she saw her, she secretly compared herself to her and thought that she would not be weaker than her. Right now, after hearing Morong Jishui's words, she also realized that there was indeed someone else in Morong Jishui's heart. But, just like her, it was a knot in his heart. Actually, there was no longer any feelings, only memories. Now that they had seen each other, and both of them had changed, the memories had disappeared naturally, and the knot in his heart had disappeared as well. She knew clearly that from now on, she would be the only one in Morong Jishui's heart. Without any reason, Su Ruhui was glad that the two of them had met. If they had not met, she did not know how much longer she would have been troubled. Yan Shiner's expression suddenly looked a bit bad for no reason at all. No one knew why she was upset, or why she would be upset after hearing one sentence from Morong Jishui. Back in the day, she and Morong Jishui were indeed in love with each other, and it was very sweet until Yuan Xiong fell in love with her. To be honest, she did not dislike Yuan Xiong at all. Therefore, she had been moved once. When she was being pressured by the Yuan family, other than the reluctance to let go of Morong Jishui, there was nothing else. After marrying into the Yuan family, her status had risen drastically. She had been living a pampered life, and after a long time, her mentality had changed. Occasionally, she would hear that Morong Jishui's cultivation had improved drastically after they had parted ways. He was just a slightly talented martial genius, but now, he had grown into a famous martial genius. She was secretly happy about it. The man she used to be and the man she was with right now were both very talented. It was her happiness to be fought over by the two of them. This time, she thought that she would be able to see Morong Jishui's unwilling expression, as well as his love for her. But, she was disappointed. Besides the excitement of meeting him for the first time, the rest of his expression was very calm. Hearing that he had already forgotten about what had happened in the past, she could not help but feel angry. This kind of anger was like having her toy taken away by someone else. Her eyes turned cold as she said, "Could you please give me some face and not stop this marriage? Actually, it is a good thing for your daughter to marry into the Yuan family. Only by joining the Yuan family will she be able to get more resources and achieve more." "Why do you want my daughter to marry into the Yuan family? Is it because they are the main family of the demi-demon race?" Murong Jishui asked back. Yan Shiner froze a bit. Is it not good to marry into the Yuan family? You have changed. Murong Jishui looked at Yan Shiner deeply. I do not recognize you anymore. Taking a deep breath, he said with determination, I will not agree to this marriage. My daughter's happiness will be decided by herself. No one can interfere, including myself. You are so stubborn. Yan Shiner was a bit annoyed. Yes, I am stubborn. But, as long as my family is happy, what is wrong with being stubborn? I have already begged you like this. Are you really not going to give me any face at all? Just for the sake of what happened in the past? The perfect demi-demon bloodline was very important to the Yuan family. Otherwise, she would not have begged Murong Jishui like this. Murong Jishui's heartlessness had made her hate him. Impossible, Murong Jishui said with certainty. Yan Shiner bit on her teeth as she pointed at Yi Chen and said with a cold voice, Murong Jishui, do not forget that the members of the demi-demon family are only allowed to marry within the family. Are you trying to break the rule of the demi-demon family by bringing him here? I do not know about their future. I only know that my daughter does not want to marry into the Yuan family, and no one can force her to do so. Huh! Yuan Jin sneered. How do you know that your daughter does not want to marry into the Yuan family? Perhaps you are the mastermind behind this. Just ask right now. Murong Jishui looked a bit gloomy. After he finished talking, he turned his head to look at Murong Qingqing. Qingqing, are you willing to marry into the Yuan family, to Yuan Jin's son, Yuan Yi? If not, just say it. They will not do anything to you. Murong Qingqing was about to say no when Yuan Jin sent a message to her. Little girl, to be honest, I have high hopes for you. Your talent is no weaker than Ye's. If you train it well, you will be able to become a life and death realm warrior in the future. Therefore, marrying into our Yuan family would be the best choice for you. Don't say no yet. Your mother has already been poisoned by the shadowless poison, which you should know about. This kind of poison is invisible and untraceable, and there is no way to find out about it. Naturally, there is no way to cure it. Even life and death realm warriors might not be able to cure it. There is only one antidote. If you say no, I will destroy it right on the spot and your mother will die because of you. Think about it carefully. Do not disappoint me and your mother. Hearing him, Murong Qingqing's expression changed drastically. She was shocked and angry. She looked at her mother, then looked at Yi Chen. She seemed to be struggling. At the same time, Yi Chen's expression changed as well. His silver pupils were cold and emotionless. Chapter 555. Yuan Jin, is this how your Yuan family does things? You are indeed unscrupulous. But today, I will not let you get what you want. The Zhen Yuan communication was not something that could be read just by looking at the mouth. Yi Chen had a super powerful soul power, so after analyzing it, he was able to understand what Yuan Jin had said to Murong Qingqing. He was shocked and angered at the same time. He could not believe that this Yuan Jin would do something like this, poisoning a member of the demi-demon family. Was he not afraid of causing an internal conflict within the demi-demon family? Damn it! Do you know what I am talking about? Yuan Jin looked at Murong Qingqing with hatred. He thought that it was Murong Qingqing who had told Yi Chen about it. Murong Qingqing was shocked. Her mind was in a mess, and she could not think of telling anyone. Plus, it was about her mother's life after all. Murong Jishui could tell that something was not right, so he asked Yi Chen, what happened? Su Ruhui looked over as well. Yi Chen thought about it and decided to tell the truth. Since it was poison, there must be a way to cure it. He could just ask the Dragon King for help. With his top king level power, this shadowless poison should not be a problem for him. With a dark look on his face, he said, Auntie was poisoned by the Yuan family to threaten Murong Qingqing. Hearing him, Murong Jishui was so angry that he almost puked out blood. He threw out a palm attack toward Yuan Jin. Old man, you dare to poison Ruhui? Today it will be either you or me. Boom. Qi flow exploded as Yuan Jin blocked out Murong Jishui's attack. How dare you! Take him down. How dare you! Seeing Murong Jishui attacking their headmaster, all of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family had flames burning in their eyes. They felt that it was not something that could be tolerated, so they wanted to make a move. Stop! Su Ruhui yelled out. Waiting until both of them had calmed down a bit, Su Ruhui said with a cold face, Yuan Jin, I am also a member of the demi-demon family. You poisoning me, do you think it is too much? Also, do not forget that I am a member of the Su family. Although we are not as powerful as your Yuan family, we will not let anyone bully us. Yuan Jin hated Yi Chen to the bone. This poisoning thing could not be brought out in the open. It was exactly because he thought that Murong Qinqing would not tell the truth that he had used it as a threat. Taking a deep breath, Yuan Jin said slowly, I did not want to do this, but you are forcing me. If you agree to this marriage, I will hand over the antidote right away. As for the Su family, it seems like you have already been kicked out of your family. I believe they would not go against our Yuan family just because of you. You're despicable. No matter how well-mannered Su Ruhui was, she was still infuriated. Those who want to achieve great things don't bother with trifles. Moreover, their union is the most perfect thing for the demi-demon clan. You guys are so stubborn that you are the scourge of the demi-demon clan. Yuan Jin's voice was cold. Third brother, let's fight with them. Murong Wu and the 10 powerful warriors from the Murong family had just woken up from their stupor, standing behind the few of them quietly. Murong Jishui suppressed the anger that was burning like a volcano inside him as he said with a low voice, Yuan Jin, hand over the antidote, and there will still be a chance for us to turn this around. Otherwise, I will not stop until you die. Either you die or I die. Yuan Jin did not answer Murong Jishui. He turned his head to look at Murong Qinqing. Little girl, your mother's life is in your hands. I will ask you one more time. Do you agree or not? If you do not agree, then this only antidote will be gone forever. As he spoke, he took out a white medicine bottle. His palm was shining with a purple gold light. As long as he pushed out his Zhen Yuan, this bottle would be destroyed into nothingness. Su Ruhui said angrily, Qinqing, do not agree. Even if you agree, I will not be happy for the rest of my life. Plus, according to what I know, the shadowless poison is not incurable. It's just that the ingredients are hard to find. Sacrificing her daughter's happiness for her own life was something that she could not do. Murong Jishui had a complicated look on his face. He thought about it but did not say anything. Father, mother. Murong Qinqing wanted to say something, but stopped. She seemed to be struggling. Murong Jishui sighed. Listen to your mother. Do not agree. I do not believe that there is no antidote for this shadowless poison. Then, he yelled at Yuan Jin, there are so many people here looking at you. Do you think you still have the face? You are the scourge of the demi-demon family. Damn it. Yuan Jin's face twisted a little. Indeed, what he had done would make him a laughingstock for everyone in the Gulan region. But, since he had already made it this far, there was no turning back. As long as he handed over the antidote, his reputation would be restored. What a joke. He might as well go all the way and see who would be the one laughing in the end. The rumors would eventually disappear. Little girl, do you agree or not? Crack. The white medicine bottle in Yuan Jin's hand started to crack, seeming like it would shatter at any second. Do not agree. Su Ruhui stared at Yuan Jin angrily. Tightening the gold sword in his hand, Yi Chen's expression was getting colder and colder. He could not say anything to make Murong Qinqing say no, since it was related to his mother's life. Of course, no matter how it would end up, Yuan Jin and his son had already been listed as his targets. Sorry, I will not say yes. Murong Qinqing bit on her pearly white teeth as she said this. Good. 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 Yuan Jin said the word good 3 times in a row, and then the white bottle in his hand shattered with a bang, completely turning into nothingness. Yuan Jin. Murong Jishui's eyes were bloodshot. Jishui. Su Ruhui grabbed onto Murong Jishui. In the Yuan family, you will not be able to win against them. Anyway, this shadowless poison is not without an antidote. We can think of something when we get back. It would be better than losing our lives here or being locked up. Who? Murong Jishui took a couple of deep breaths. His wife was right. It would not be wise to fight with them here, and it would also give the Yuan family an excuse to attack them. Therefore, no matter how angry he was, he would have to hold it in. He would take it out later. Let's go. Murong Jishui stared at Yuan Jin and said to his people, Go. Where do you think you are going? Murong Jishui, you have offended our Yuan family time and time again. Right now, as the head master of our Yuan family, I am going to capture you. Little brat Yi, this is our demi-demon family's business. If you dare to make a move, I will not go easy on you. Come. Surround them. The Yuan family had lost a lot of face. Yuan Jin did not even say anything before asking them to leave. It was like a double loss for them. How dare you? Su Ruhui and Murong Jishui yelled at the same time. Why not? Everyone, listen up. Capture Murong Jishui for me. If anyone else dares to move, kill them. With Yuan Jin's order, the powerful warriors of the Yuan family appeared from all directions, surrounding Murong Jishui and his people. Qin. Taking out his gold sword, Yi Qin said, Sorry, but today you are so stubborn. I will have to fight with your Yuan family. Wang Shi and Yan Kuei stood up. Junior brother Yi, we'll accompany you. Yuan Jin, you've shown off enough today. Let's see how you explain to our dragon god Celestial Palace in the future. I'll report everything that happened today in full detail. You have gone too far. Do it. Yuan Jin's 3 corpses were infuriated. He waved his palm. Boom, boom, boom. The whole plaza was in chaos. Dozens of Yuan family warriors attacked the dozens of people on Yi Chen's side. As for the other guests, they had already backed out of the area, watching this scene with interest. Yuan Jin and a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior had joined hands to attack Murong Jishui. Judging on power, Yuan Jin was not weaker than Murong Jishui, and was actually slightly more powerful. Together with the other master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, they would be able to take down Murong Jishui easily. As for the rest of the people, they would not be an opponent for the Yuan family at all. Meanwhile, Yan Shiner was facing Su Ruhui, and they did not see eye to eye with each other. Right then, the Yuan family and the Murong family had turned against each other, so naturally, they were treating each other as enemies. Dang. After blowing away a powerful warrior from the Yuan family with one sword attack, Yi Chen realized that it was not going to be good. If this continued, all the warriors from the Murong family would be killed sooner or later. No choice. I guess I will have to use my Thunder Disaster Sword then. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Yi Chen would not reveal his semi-extreme rank great sword in front of everyone. Right then, he could not care about that anymore. Putting the gold sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen took out his Thunder Disaster Sword and poured his Zhen Yuan into it. The sword body turned into a beam of lightning, stretching and shrinking. Shoo! With one sword attack, a Yuan family warrior's arm fell off as he backed out while screaming. Kill! With the Thunder Disaster Sword in his hand, Yi Chen's battling power increased drastically. He killed his way in and out of the Yuan family warriors, and not a single one of them could stop him. Soon, there were already 4 warriors who had been wounded badly by his sword. It is a semi-extreme rank great sword. Outside of the stage, someone could tell the rank of the sword. It is indeed a semi-extreme rank great sword. This power is so horrifying. Falling into his hands is indeed a waste. I am a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior. If I have a semi-extreme rank great sword in my hand, who would be my opponent below the king warriors? I would be able to go anywhere in the world. A lot of people started to get greedy. Although they did not dare to kill Yi Chen, they would still dare to steal the sword secretly, since it was too important for them. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword. Facing the area with the most warriors of the Yuan family, Yi Chen threw out a sword attack, performing his most powerful sword movement, the Gold Resonant Radiance Sword. That thick sword light was like a scythe that was harvesting lives. A row of Yuan family warriors fell down, and no one knew if they were still alive or dead. Those who were closer had also been wounded by the sword light, puking out blood continuously. Fight your way out. Cutting out a gap, Yi Chen yelled to everyone. Bastard! Where did that brat get that semi-extreme rank great sword? In the air, Yuan Jin had sensed the weird situation down there, so he could not help but look down. What he saw made him furious. Dozens of Sea of Souls realm warriors from the Yuan family had been knocked out, and some of the remaining ones were wounded as well. Their battling power had been greatly reduced. On the other side, only 3 to 5 warriors from the Murong family had been wounded, and none of them had been knocked out. Murong Jishui had also seen the scene down there, and he let out a breath of relief. Normally, only Sea of Souls realm warriors would be able to join in the battle. Therefore, no matter how many warriors there were in the Yuan family, most of them would not be able to make a difference. Once one reached the life and death realm, one warrior's power would be able to fight against a super martial school or family. Chapter 556. Murong Jishui, don't even think about it anymore. Today, you will not be able to get out of the Yuan family alive. Yuan Jin kept his composure. He knew that as long as he waited for a while, the other Sea of Souls realm warriors of the Yuan family would arrive, and his main goal was to take down Murong Jishui. Murong Jishui sneered, with the two of you teaming up, I indeed would not be able to win. But, if you want to take me down, it would be impossible. He and Yuan Jin were more or less the same. Adding on a normal Sea of Souls realm master-level warrior, they might be able to make him suffer a bit. But, if he wanted to leave, they would not be able to stop him either. Huh. Do you really think so? Yuan Jin's speed was like lightning as he continued to attack, while the master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, who was teaming up with him, helped out on the side. Down below, the plaza of the Yuan family was full of holes, and most of the buildings around had been destroyed as well. From time to time, there would be warriors of the Yuan family flying over from a certain direction and joining the battle. Therefore, the number of warriors attacking the Yuan family was always around 30. This brat is powerful. Let the 5 of us work together to hold him off. With the Thunder Disaster Sword in his hand, Yi Chen was extremely powerful. Wherever he went, there would be blood rain and thunder light. Whenever the sword light flashed once, there would be people falling down with their hands covering their wound. No one could stop him. Seeing that the warriors of the Yuan family would be heavily injured, the 5 top spirit warriors went up to fight against Yi Chen. They were the masters of the Yuan family, and their ranks were not low. Speed Sword Hell. If it were the gold sword performing the Speed Sword Hell, each sword shadow's power would only be equivalent to a normal Soul Realm warrior's full power attack. But it was performed by the Thunder Disaster Sword, which increased the power to that of a spirit warrior's full power attack. Countless sword shadows spread out, looking like a blue ocean of light attacking out. And Yi Chen was the source of that blue light ocean, the starting point of the attack. Ah! How could he perform this many sword shadows at the same time? Each of them is equivalent to a normal spirit warrior's full power attack. He might be able to block out 10 of them, but he might not be able to block out 20 or even 30. The 5 of them came with an aggressive aura, but they were leaving in a bad shape. Even the Yuan family warriors around them had been wounded by the sharp sword shadows. Brat, you dare! Another peak expert of Yuan clan rushed over from afar. This person was the 3rd-ranked elder of Yuan clan, named Yuan Lai. His weapon was a huge blade. The blade's body was as red as fire, and as soon as he slashed out, a fiery blade energy swept out in all directions. Kill. Yi Chen unsheathed the gold sword with his left hand and performed a cross slash with the Thunder Disaster Sword. The two sword lights, one straight and one reverse, seemed like a pair of executioner's hands as they went against the flaming blade energy. Not only did they split the blade energy apart, they even carried a lot of it to attack Yuan Lai. Damn it, when did this brat become a guru? No, that sword. Yuan Lai had seen Yi Chen's portrait before, so he could recognize him at a glance. In his impression, Yi Chen was still far from the master level, so it was impossible for him to be his opponent. At this moment, seeing the opponent's counterattack was so sharp that even part of his flame blade energy was swept back, he was shocked. After the initial shock, he immediately realized that it was the Thunder Disaster Sword that was causing trouble, and not Yi Chen's own strength. Bang! Yuan Lai was, after all, a Sea of Soul master, so it was impossible for him to be defeated in one strike. Holding the blade with both hands, he raised it horizontally like a reef on the shore, enduring the waves all year round, unmoving and steady like Mount Tai. The moment the sword light and flame blade energy arrived, they were deflected without the slightest injury. The semi-supreme grade sword is a waste in your hands. I'll take care of it for you. Let go. With a shake of his body, Yuan Lai's aura changed from that of a reef to that of a volcano. His body contained an extremely frightening flame power. Holding the blade with both hands, he slashed 18 times toward Yi Chen. Each slash was extremely powerful, and the scorching blade wind melted the potholed ground into crystals. Sword Light Flight Art. A sword light flickered outside Yi Chen's body, and he instantly arrived in the sky. The gold sword had long since returned to its scabbard. The Thunder Disaster Sword in his hand was like a wriggling lightning as it slashed toward Yuan Lai below. The sword light sliced through the space, creating ripples like water. What a fast speed! Yuan Lai had just returned to Yuan clan, so he didn't know that Yi Chen still had this ace up his sleeve. His blade energy missed, but his figure flickered as well. With a speed as explosive as fire, he dodged Yi Chen's strongest sword strike. The movement technique contains the profound of fire. Yi Chen's brows creased. Among the major attributes, thunder and wind held the advantage in terms of speed. However, this was only under normal circumstances. Powerful experts could dig out other attributes that could aid in speed. For example, fire was the fastest when it burst out. Of course, it couldn't last as long as thunder and wind, so it could only burst out for a short period of time. Kid Yi, I'm the third elder of Yuan clan. Do you think you can defeat me? Yuan Lai appeared behind Yi Chen. He stretched out his left hand and a scarlet whirlpool shot out. The whirlpool contained a powerful suction force, pulling the air like blades as it tried to pull Yi Chen over. Yi Chen knew that although Yuan Lai wasn't as powerful as Yuan Jin, he was still a powerful Sea of Soul master-level expert. Ordinary master-level experts couldn't compare to him. Wanting to defeat him in a short period of time was indeed impossible. However, at this moment there was no way out. Even if he couldn't fight, he had to. Gold Resonant Radiance. The intense battle intent caused Yi Chen's aura to become as sharp as a sword. At this critical moment, he had comprehended the gold resonant radiance to greater completion. 90% completion and greater completion seemed to only be 10% difference, but the effect was completely different. 90% completion meant that there were still flaws, while greater completion meant complete perfection. Be it sword aura or sword energy, they couldn't be mentioned in the same breath. Chop! The Thunder Disaster Sword was dyed with a layer of gold as Yi Chen's sword slashed across the sky. Puff! The scarlet whirlpool was split into two, and the dazzling golden sawtooth sword light carried an unstoppable and unstoppable sword aura as it shot toward Yuan Lai. What? Breakthrough in battle! Yuan Lai was stunned. It was rumored that there were some geniuses who were good at fighting. The more they fought, the stronger they would become. They would often be able to break through their bottlenecks under extreme pressure and advance a step further. Against such geniuses, a slight advantage wasn't considered an advantage, because the opponent could instantly turn this advantage into nothing. The opponent's advantage would only make him stronger, it would be his stepping stone. Bastard! You dare to use me as a stepping stone? Yuan Lai was enraged. He slashed out with a fiery aura and a fiery blade aura. His entire body seemed like a flaming blade, imposing and tyrannical. Rumble! The sword light and blade energy collided, and the ground within several li surged like waves in the sea. Soon after, beams of sword light and blade energy soared into the sky, turning the area into a blade and sword hell. Be it Yuan clan's experts or Murong clan's experts, they all stopped. They discovered that this sword light and blade energy had a killing power that could pierce through their protective Jin Yuan. As for the area several li away, it seemed to be separated by an invisible qi wall. As soon as the surging ground reached there, it was pushed back. It was the Yuan clan's demonic human king, protecting the clan's buildings from being damaged. Only the plaza and the surrounding area were left as the battleground. Of course, although the demonic human king of Yuan clan could instantly kill anyone here, it was precisely because he was a demonic human king that he could not make a move. He could not even enter the battlefield. Yi Chen was a genius favored by the Dragon King. If they made a move, the Dragon King might personally pay a visit to the Yuan clan in the future. It was fine if the Yuan clan bullied him with numbers, but even a demonic human king was making a move. It was clear that the Yuan clan did not put him in their eyes. Junior brother Yi is too ferocious. Almost all of the Murong clan's experts were injured, but Wang Shi and Yen Kuei were unscathed. After all, they were Dragon God Celestial Palace's people, and the Yuan clan's experts wouldn't dare to do anything to them. At most, they could only hold them back and prevent them from supporting others. Su Ruhui nodded. He is indeed a dragon among men, a sword Dao genius. After saying these words, her brows creased. In the sky, Murong Jishui was being pushed back again and again. Under the joint attack of 2 Sea of Soul Realm Masters, it was already not easy for him to hold on until now. Murong Jishui, surrender. Otherwise, you'll be buried here today. Yuan Jin's fist shot out countless golden blades, slicing through the void. In your dreams! Murong Jishui resisted with all his might, pushing his strength to the limit. Rumble! On one side, Yi Chen was facing Yuan Lai, while on the other side, Yuan Jin and the Yuan clan's elders were facing Murong Jishui. The two battlefields were crisscrossing, and the space rippled like water. The others temporarily stopped and raised their heads to watch. All of you, stop! Right at this moment, a loud roar came from outside the Yuan clan. This roar was majestic and powerful, as if the voice had condensed into steel and was forcibly transmitted into everyone's ears. Those with slightly lower cultivation base paled and felt dizzy, while those with higher cultivation base revealed astonished expressions. Palace leader! Yao Yifeng suddenly raised his head and looked outside the Yuan clan's gate. Palace leader has arrived. Wang Shi and Yen Kuei were overjoyed. Although they were a bit surprised that the palace leader had arrived so quickly, it was still a good thing. Swish, swish, swish. 3 silhouettes dashed over and appeared on the square. The person in the lead was a burly man in his 50s. He wore a yellow robe that was embroidered with an angry dragon that was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Still not stopping? The yellow-robed middle-aged man waved his wide sleeves, slapping 2 palms toward the 2 battlefields in the sky. The ferocious palm energy brought with it a loud vibrating sound. Yi Chen and Yuan Lai only felt a powerful pressure, and they couldn't help but retreat. On the other side, Yuan Jin and Murong Jishui also stopped. Under this ferocious palm energy, they didn't feel any better. So powerful! Yi Chen's pupils shrank. The yellow-robed middle-aged man was clearly a sea of soul master. But, be it Yuan Jin or Yuan Lai, neither of them was half as strong as him. A mere palm attack from a distance was enough to separate them, and the aftershock of the palm energy caused his blood and qi to boil. Seeing the yellow-robed middle-aged man, Yuan Jin's complexion changed. He descended from the sky and cupped his fists. So, it's palace leader Zhang. This one is Yuan clan's great elder, Yuan Jin. What's going on? The yellow-robed middle-aged man was precisely Dragon God Celestial Palace's Yellow Dragon Palace's palace leader Zhang Jingguang. After receiving the message from Wang Shi and Yan Kuei, he had rushed through the night and arrived at Yuan clan. Before entering seclusion, Palace Leader had instructed him to nurture Yi Chen as the future Palace Leader. Of course, it might not necessarily be Yellow Dragon Palace Leader.